Beloved, love is not found in the fleeting joys of harmony, it is tested in the crucible of sacrifice. It is easy to say I love you when the sun shines and the path is smooth, but true love reveals itself when storms arise and we are asked to give without measure. Love is an idea often romanticized, reduced to fleeting moments of happiness and ease. But love, in its truest essence, is far more profound and enduring. Its strength, its authenticity, is not revealed in times of comfort or joy. Instead, the true measure of love emerges in moments of sacrifice, when one must give without guarantee of return, act without expectation, and endure without complaint. It is in these moments when love is tested that its depth becomes evident. Sacrifice is love's proving ground. It is the fire through which love is purified, stripped of selfish motives and shallow attachments. To sacrifice for someone you love is to declare that their well-being, their happiness, or their growth is worth more to you than your own immediate comfort or desires. Such an act requires not only courage, but also an unshakable commitment to the bond you share. It is here, in the quiet surrender of personal wants for the sake of another, that love transcends its superficial layers and becomes something eternal. It is often misunderstood as loss, as though giving up something precious diminishes you. But true sacrifice born of love is never about loss. It is about transformation. When you give out of love, you do not lose, you expand. You move beyond the confines of the self, touching something greater, something infinite. Sacrifice reveals the limitless nature of love, for in the act of giving you connect to a divine source of abundance that replenishes and sustains. To love is to risk. Sacrifice asks us to step into the unknown, to let go of what is secure or familiar, trusting that the act itself will bring greater meaning. This trust is not always easy. Sacrifice challenges us to confront our fears of inadequacy, rejection, or betrayal. But it is precisely in facing these fears that love proves its strength. It says, even though I am afraid, even though I do not know what will come of this, I choose to give, because love demands it. We also find a reflection of our own worth. When you love someone enough to sacrifice for them, you are not diminishing yourself, you are affirming your capacity to connect, to nurture, and to grow. Sacrifice is not an act of weakness but of immense strength, for it takes great courage to put another's needs above your own. And in doing so, you align yourself with the highest expression of love, one that transcends the boundaries of self-interest. But let us also remember that sacrifice must come from a place of abundance, not emptiness. True love does not demand martyrdom or self-neglect. To measure love through sacrifice is not to say you must deplete yourself for others. Rather, it is to give from the overflow of a heart that is whole and fulfilled. Only then can sacrifice be an act of love, not obligation or resentment. When you love yourself enough to honor your own needs, you can give to others without losing yourself in the process. Love, when tested through sacrifice, reveals its divine nature. It shows us that we are not separate but deeply connected, bound by a force that transcends time and space. It is in these moments of giving that we touch eternity, experiencing a love that mirrors the Creator's infinite and unconditional outpouring. This is the true measure of love, not in the easy times, but in the hard ones, not in the gains, but in what we are willing to give. When you love, and when that love is tested, embrace the challenge. See it not as a trial to endure, but as an opportunity to deepen and expand. Each act of sacrifice, no matter how small, weaves a tapestry of connection and meaning that defines the very essence of love. And as you give, trust that love, in its infinite wisdom, will return to you in ways far greater than you can imagine. For in the end, love is never truly measured by what you receive, but by what you are willing to give, even when no one is watching. Sacrifice is often seen as a loss, a painful giving up of something valuable or cherished. Yet within the heart of sacrifice lies an extraordinary power, the ability to catalyze growth, both for the one who sacrifices and for those who are touched by their actions. Sacrifice is not an end in itself, it is a gateway to transformation, a means through which individuals and relationships can evolve to new heights of understanding, strength, and connection. To sacrifice is to step out of the confines of self-centeredness. It is to declare that something greater, love, purpose, or vision holds more significance than personal comfort or fleeting desires. In choosing to sacrifice, we break free from the narrow focus of immediate gratification and align ourselves with a deeper sense of meaning. This alignment often requires a shedding of old patterns, attachments, or fears, making room for the new and unexplored. Growth is inherently uncomfortable, and sacrifice is no different. When we give up what is familiar or secure, we are forced to confront the unknown. This confrontation can be daunting, as it challenges us to let go of control and place faith in the process of change. Yet it is precisely in this space of uncertainty that growth takes root. Sacrifice pushes us to expand our boundaries, to stretch beyond what we thought possible, and to discover strengths and capacities we never knew we possessed. Consider how sacrifice fosters resilience. Each time we willingly let go of something we value for a higher purpose, we strengthen our ability to endure and persevere. Sacrifice teaches us to focus not on the immediate discomfort, but on the larger picture. It shifts our perspective, helping us see that true fulfillment often requires temporary hardship. Through this process, we develop a fortitude that not only sustains us in moments of challenge, but also prepares us to face future trials with greater confidence and grace. Sacrifice also deepens our understanding of ourselves. When we sacrifice, we are confronted with our priorities and values. What are we willing to give up, and for whom or what? These questions compel us to examine the essence of who we are and what we stand for. In doing so, we gain clarity about our purpose and the principles that guide our lives. Sacrifice strips away superficial distractions, revealing the core of what truly matters. At the same time, sacrifice fosters connection. It is an act of love and empathy, a way of saying, I see you, and I value you enough to give of myself for your benefit. This selflessness creates bonds that are profound and enduring. Relationships are strengthened when individuals choose to put aside their own desires for the good of the other. Whether in families, friendships, or communities, sacrifice becomes the foundation upon which trust and mutual respect are built. Through the act of giving, we not only uplift others, but also create a shared experience of growth. It is important to recognize that sacrifice is not about self-neglect or martyrdom. True sacrifice comes from a place of abundance, not depletion. It is not about diminishing oneself for the sake of others, but about choosing to give from a heart that is full and aligned with purpose. When sacrifice is rooted in love and intention, it becomes a source of empowerment rather than a burden. It is not about losing oneself, but about finding a greater sense of self through the act of giving. Sacrifice also teaches us about impermanence and detachment. By letting go of what we hold dear, we learn that our worth and happiness are not tied to material possessions or external circumstances. Sacrifice reminds us that life is fluid, and growth often requires the shedding of the old to make way for the new. This process of release is not easy, but it is essential for transformation. Through sacrifice, we cultivate a mindset of adaptability and openness, qualities that are vital for personal and spiritual evolution. Sacrifice is a reflection of the divine. In giving, we mirror the Creator's infinite generosity, which sustains all of existence. Sacrifice aligns us with this higher principle, allowing us to transcend the limitations of the ego and connect with the boundless flow of love and abundance. In this way, sacrifice becomes a sacred act, a way of participating in the ongoing creation and renewal of life. As we walk the path of sacrifice, we are reminded that growth is not always linear or immediate. The rewards of sacrifice are not always visible in the moment, but they manifest over time in ways that are profound and enduring. Each act of sacrifice is a step on the journey toward becoming our highest selves, toward living a life that is rich in purpose, connection, and fulfillment. Sacrifice is not about what we lose, it is about what we gain. It is a gateway that leads us to greater love, deeper understanding, and a more expansive vision of what is possible. In choosing to sacrifice, we embrace the truth that growth requires us to let go of the lesser so that we may step into the greater. And in that choice, we find not only ourselves, but also the infinite potential of love and life. The experience of loss is one of the most profound and universal emotions in human life. It stirs feelings of grief, regret, and longing, making us believe that something precious has been taken away, leaving us diminished. Yet loss, when viewed from a higher perspective, is often not what it appears to be. What we perceive as loss is frequently an illusion, a misunderstanding born of attachment, fear, and the limitations of our current awareness. Within the concept of loss lies the potential for transformation, growth, and even deeper fulfillment. At the core of the illusion of loss is our attachment to form. We live in a world where we identify deeply with the physical, the tangible, and the familiar. We attach ourselves to people, possessions, relationships, and circumstances, believing they are the source of our happiness and security. When these attachments are disrupted, we feel an acute sense of loss, as though a part of us has been torn away. But this belief is rooted in the misconception that our sense of self is tied to external things. In truth, what we are cannot be lost, for it is infinite and unchanging. Consider this: every experience of loss is also an invitation to rediscover what is eternal within us. When something or someone we value is no longer present, we are forced to confront the temporary nature of all things. This realization can be painful, but it also opens the door to a deeper understanding. It reminds us that nothing in the material world is permanent, and clinging to it only creates suffering. Through this lens, loss is not an end, but a transition, a movement from one state of being to another. It is a lesson in detachment, teaching us to release what no longer serves us so that we can grow into something greater. Loss also challenges our perception of control. Much of our fear around loss stems from the illusion that we can hold on to things indefinitely, that we can prevent change or keep life exactly as it is. When we lose something, it feels as though the ground beneath us has shifted, leaving us unstable and uncertain. But this discomfort is an opportunity to recognize the futility of trying to control life's flow. The illusion of loss dissolves when we embrace the truth that life is dynamic, ever-changing, and inherently unpredictable. Rather than resisting this reality, we can learn to trust it, finding peace in the knowledge that every ending carries within it the seeds of a new beginning. In the midst of loss, we often fail to see the gifts it brings. Loss strips away the superficial, leaving us with the essence of what truly matters. It encourages introspection, asking us to reevaluate our priorities and values. What seemed important before may no longer hold the same weight, and what was overlooked may reveal itself as deeply meaningful. In this way, loss becomes a teacher, guiding us toward greater clarity and purpose. Loss often paves the way for transformation. What we perceive as loss is frequently a redirection, a nudge toward a path we might not have chosen otherwise. When a door closes, it may feel like a rejection or failure, but it is often an act of grace, removing something that no longer aligns with our highest good. The space left by loss is not empty, it is fertile ground for new possibilities to take root. In this way, what feels like an ending is, in truth, a beginning, a chance to reinvent, rebuild, and reimagine our lives. The illusion of loss is also tied to our linear perception of time. We see life as a sequence of moments, each passing irretrievably into the past. When we lose something, it feels as though it is gone forever, irretrievable and final. But this perspective ignores the timeless nature of reality. Love, connection, and meaning are not confined to physical presence or chronological time. They exist beyond the boundaries of what we can see or touch. What we have truly cherished is never lost, it remains a part of us, woven into the fabric of who we are. Even in the most profound losses, such as the passing of a loved one, the illusion persists. We grieve their absence, forgetting that the love and memories we shared are eternal. Their essence lives on, not just in our hearts, but in the very energy of existence. Loss, in this sense, is not an erasure, but a transformation, a shift from the physical to the spiritual, from form to formlessness. What is real and eternal can never be destroyed, it simply changes its expression. To move beyond the illusion of loss, we must cultivate a mindset of abundance and trust. Instead of focusing on what we lack, we can shift our attention to what remains and what lies ahead. Life is an endless cycle of giving and receiving, of ebb and flow. When we trust in this cycle, We begin to see loss not as a void, but as part of a greater, harmonious rhythm. In letting go, we make room for new blessings to enter our lives, often in forms we could not have anticipated. The illusion of loss is a lesson in perspective. It challenges us to look beyond appearances and recognize the deeper truths that govern our existence. Loss is not a punishment or a failure, it is a natural part of life's unfolding. It invites us to grow, to evolve, and to connect with the eternal essence that lies beyond the fleeting and the temporary. When we embrace this truth, we see that what we thought we had lost was never truly gone, it was simply transformed, waiting for us to recognize it in a new and infinite form. Imagination and sacrifice are two seemingly unrelated concepts, yet they are deeply intertwined in the journey of transformation and fulfillment. Imagination is the divine faculty that enables us to create, visualize, and shape the reality we desire, while sacrifice is the act of releasing the old to make room for the new. Together, they form a harmonious cycle. Imagination inspires the vision, and sacrifice clears the path for that vision to manifest. Without the courage to sacrifice, imagination remains a dream. Without imagination, sacrifice lacks direction and purpose. The interplay between these forces reveals profound truths about growth, creation, and the unfolding of life's potential. Imagination is the birthplace of all change. It allows us to see beyond the constraints of our current circumstances and envision possibilities that have not yet materialized. It is through imagination that we create the blueprint for our desires, infusing life with purpose and intention. However, the act of imagining alone is not enough. For our visions to take form, we must be willing to let go of what no longer serves us. Sacrifice is the bridge that connects the world of imagination to the realm of reality. It is the price we pay to align our external lives with the internal vision we hold. Sacrifice requires us to confront our attachments, habits, and fears. It demands that we step out of our comfort zones and release the familiar, even when doing so feels uncertain or painful. This act of letting go is not a loss but a necessary part of creation. Just as a gardener must clear the weeds to plant new seeds, so must we relinquish what crowds our lives to make space for the manifestation of our desires. Sacrifice, when viewed through the lens of imagination, becomes not an act of deprivation, but one of preparation, a clearing of the ground for new growth. Imagination gives us the courage to make sacrifices, for it provides a vision of what lies on the other side of letting go. Without imagination, sacrifice might seem futile, a surrender without purpose or reward. But when guided by imagination, we see the necessity of sacrifice as part of a greater process. We recognize that by releasing what is no longer aligned with our aspirations, we are actively participating in the creation of something greater. Imagination transforms sacrifice from a painful obligation into a deliberate and empowered choice. Consider the sacrifices required for personal growth. To become the person we aspire to be, we must let go of limiting beliefs, unproductive habits, and relationships that no longer nurture us. These sacrifices can feel like losses, as they often involve severing ties with parts of ourselves that have provided comfort or identity. Yet through imagination, we can visualize the person we are becoming, a version of ourselves that is freer, stronger, and more aligned with our highest purpose. This vision gives meaning to the sacrifices we make, reminding us that every release is a step toward becoming more of who we truly are. In relationships, the interplay of imagination and sacrifice is equally profound. Love often calls for sacrifices of time, ego, or personal desires in service of a deeper connection. These sacrifices can be challenging, as they require us to prioritize the well-being of another over our immediate needs. But love is sustained and deepened by the imagination of a shared future, a vision of unity and partnership that makes the sacrifices worthwhile. Imagination allows us to see the potential of the bond we are nurturing, and sacrifice becomes the means by which that potential is realized. The sacrifice also plays a crucial role in the collective imagination. Throughout history, great societal changes have been fueled by individuals and communities willing to make sacrifices for a vision of a better world. Activists, innovators, and leaders have given up comfort, security, and even their lives to bring forth new realities. Their sacrifices were not in vain, but were driven by an unwavering belief in what could be. This dynamic continues today, as collective imagination inspires sacrifices that pave the way for progress and transformation. The relationship between imagination and sacrifice is not one-sided, it is reciprocal. While imagination inspires sacrifice, sacrifice also strengthens imagination. When we let go of the old, we create a vacuum that invites new ideas, possibilities, and insights to emerge. Sacrifice clears mental and emotional clutter, freeing us to imagine with greater clarity and creativity. It is in the act of releasing that we often discover new depths of imagination, as the very process of letting go expands our perception of what is possible. This cycle of imagination and sacrifice mirrors the natural rhythms of life. Just as seasons change and old leaves fall to nourish the earth, so must we continually release the old to make way for the new. Sacrifice is not a one-time act, but an ongoing practice, a willingness to embrace the impermanence of life and trust in the process of renewal. Imagination provides the vision that guides us through these cycles, ensuring that each sacrifice serves a higher purpose. Imagination and sacrifice teach us about the nature of abundance. While sacrifice might seem like a loss, it is, in truth, an act of faith in the infinite possibilities of creation. It is the willingness to believe that what we let go of will be replaced by something even greater, something that aligns more closely with our truest desires and aspirations. Imagination reassures us of this truth, showing us glimpses of the future we are creating through our sacrifices. Together, imagination and sacrifice remind us that life is not static, but a constant flow of becoming. To imagine is to dream of what could be, to sacrifice is to act in alignment with that dream. In their union lies the power to transform not only our individual lives, but the world around us, as we continually co-create a reality that reflects the boundless potential of the human spirit. Love, at its essence, is an act of faith. It is the willingness to trust, to give, and to open oneself to the unknown without guarantees. Love does not come with certainty, nor does it promise a smooth path free of pain or disappointment. Yet despite these uncertainties, we choose to love because deep within we recognize its transformative power. Love requires faith, not only in others, but also in ourselves, in life, and in the unseen forces that shape our experiences. It is through this faith that love transcends mere emotion and becomes a profound force for connection and growth. To love is to step into vulnerability. It is to open our hearts, knowing there is a possibility of hurt. The very act of loving someone exposes us to the risk of rejection, loss, or betrayal. Yet we love anyway, because faith assures us that the rewards of connection outweigh the risks. Faith in love does not mean ignoring the potential for pain, rather. It is the belief that the journey of love, with all its challenges, is worth undertaking. It is a trust in the inherent goodness of love and its ability to enrich our lives. Faith in love also requires letting go of control. When we love, we cannot dictate how the other person will respond, nor can we predict how the relationship will evolve. Love thrives in the space of freedom, where both individuals are allowed to grow and express themselves authentically. This freedom, however, can be unsettling because it forces us to release our grip on outcomes. Faith bridges this gap, reminding us that love is not about possession or guarantees, but about presence, acceptance, and shared moments of connection. Love is an act of faith because it often demands patience and perseverance. In relationships, love is not always effortless. There are times of misunderstanding, frustration, and even conflict. During these moments, faith sustains love by encouraging us to see beyond the immediate challenges and remember the deeper bond that unites us. Faith allows us to trust that, with effort and commitment, love can weather storms and emerge stronger on the other side. It is this faith that transforms love from a fleeting feeling into a resilient and enduring force. Love also requires faith in oneself. To truly love another, we must first believe in our own worthiness to give and receive love. This self-belief is not always easy, as we often carry doubts, insecurities, and fears of rejection. Yet love invites us to trust in our capacity to connect and to be vulnerable. It encourages us to see ourselves as whole and deserving, reminding us that we are enough just as we are. Faith in ourselves allows us to approach love with an open heart, unburdened by the need for constant validation or reassurance. Faith in love extends beyond individual relationships. It encompasses a broader trust in life itself. Love asks us to believe in the unseen, in the intangible bonds that connect us to others and to the world. It is a reminder that we are not separate but deeply interconnected, and that our acts of love ripple outward in ways we may never fully understand. This faith in the unseen nature of love encourages us to act with kindness, compassion, and generosity, even when we do not immediately see the impact of our actions. Love as an act of faith also teaches us about surrender. To love is to let go of ego, pride, and the need to always be right. It is to prioritize connection over winning, understanding over judgment, and unity over division. This surrender requires faith in the transformative power of love, that by letting go of self-centeredness, we create space for deeper intimacy and harmony. Love invites us to trust that in giving of ourselves, we do not lose but gain something far greater. Furthermore, love often calls us to embrace the unknown. Whether it is the love between partners, friends, or family members, every act of love involves stepping into a future that cannot be predicted. We do not know how the story will unfold, what challenges will arise, or how the relationship will evolve. Yet we choose to love because faith assures us that the journey is worthwhile, regardless of the outcome. This faith allows us to cherish the present moment, to celebrate the joy of connection without being consumed by fear of what might come. Love as an act of faith reminds us of the eternal nature of love itself. Even when relationships end, whether through separation or loss, the love we have shared does not vanish. It becomes a part of us, shaping who we are and how we move forward. Faith in love assures us that it is never wasted. Every act of love contributes to the greater tapestry of our lives, enriching our souls and deepening our understanding of what it means to be human. To love is to believe in the goodness of others, in the resilience of the human heart, and in the boundless possibilities of connection. Love requires us to trust in something greater than ourselves, something that cannot be measured or proven but is felt deeply within. It is through this faith that love transcends fear and limitation, becoming a force that transforms not only our relationships but also our very existence. In choosing to love, we affirm our faith in life itself, embracing its uncertainties with open hearts and the unwavering belief that love, in all its forms, is the greatest gift we can give and receive. The depth of love is not revealed in moments of ease and comfort. It is tested in the crucible of challenges, sacrifices, and uncertainties. Love, in its truest form, is not just an emotion or fleeting feeling but a profound commitment that withstands the trials of life. These tests reveal the strength, resilience, and authenticity of love, stripping away superficial layers to uncover its enduring essence. To test the depth of love is to see how it responds when the path grows uncertain, the skies darken, and sacrifice is demanded. At the core of love's testing lies the willingness to endure discomfort for the sake of connection. Love, when genuine, does not retreat when faced with hardship. It steps forward, embracing challenges with courage and grace. In times of adversity, love shifts from being a passive experience to an active choice. It is no longer about what one receives, but about what one is willing to give. The depth of love is reflected in the sacrifices one is prepared to make, not out of obligation, but from a heartfelt desire to preserve and nurture the bond. Love's depth is revealed in its capacity for patience and perseverance. In a world that often seeks instant gratification, love asks for time. It requires patience during moments of misunderstanding, frustration, or conflict. It perseveres through periods of distance or disconnection, holding on to the belief that the bond is worth nurturing. This enduring quality of love demonstrates its strength, as it remains steadfast even when circumstances challenge its stability. The testing of love also involves navigating change. Life is inherently dynamic, and individuals within a relationship grow and evolve over time. These changes can strain even the strongest bonds, as they may challenge previously held expectations or dynamics. Yet, the depth of love is proven in its ability to adapt and embrace growth. Instead of resisting change, deep love finds ways to evolve alongside it, creating new pathways for connection and understanding. It does not cling to a fixed idea of what the relationship should be, but instead flows with the natural shifts of life. One of the most profound tests of love is forgiveness. To truly love is to recognize the humanity of the other person, their flaws, mistakes, and imperfections. Forgiveness is not about condoning hurtful actions, but about choosing to move forward without holding on to resentment. It is an act of grace that allows love to heal and grow stronger. Forgiveness requires humility and empathy, qualities that reflect the depth of one's commitment to the relationship. When love can withstand the pain of betrayal or disappointment and still choose reconciliation, it reveals its resilience and transformative power. Testing the depth of love also challenges the ego. Love calls for selflessness, asking individuals to look beyond their own needs and desires. This does not mean abandoning oneself, but finding a balance where both parties feel valued and supported. Love tests the ego by requiring acts of humility, such as admitting when one is wrong, apologizing sincerely, or putting the other person's happiness before one's pride. These moments of humility demonstrate a love that is not rooted in control or domination, but in mutual respect and care. Another significant aspect of love's testing is its response to loss and separation. Whether through physical distance, emotional disconnection, or the inevitable reality of mortality, love often faces the pain of absence. The depth of love is revealed in its ability to transcend these separations, holding on to the connection even when circumstances make it difficult. Love that endures loss is a testament to its profound nature, as it demonstrates that the bond is not contingent on external conditions, but exists as a constant within the heart. The testing of love is not about creating obstacles for the sake of validation, but about revealing its true nature. These tests are inherent to life itself, as no relationship or bond exists without challenges. The depth of love is not measured by its perfection, but by its ability to navigate imperfections with grace, compassion, and resilience. It is through these tests that love moves from being a fleeting emotion to a lasting commitment, grounded in mutual understanding and shared purpose. In every test, love has the opportunity to deepen, to grow stronger, and to reveal its truest form. It is not diminished by challenges, but refined, like gold in the fire. The depth of love is found not in its ease, but in its endurance, in its ability to rise above difficulties, to embrace sacrifice, and to remain steadfast through life's uncertainties. To love deeply is to accept these tests not as burdens, but as opportunities to connect more profoundly with oneself, with others, and with the very essence of life. Self-love and sacrifice may seem at odds, yet they exist in a delicate balance that defines the essence of a fulfilled life. At its core, self-love is about honoring one's own worth and recognizing the inherent value of one's existence. Sacrifice, on the other hand, is the act of giving up something valuable for a greater good or higher purpose. While the two concepts may appear contradictory, they are deeply interconnected, each enriching the other when understood correctly. Self-love provides the foundation from which sacrifice can emerge authentically, while sacrifice often serves as a profound expression of self-love in action. To love oneself is not to live selfishly or to prioritize personal desires at the expense of others. Instead, self-love means nurturing a sense of inner worth that allows one to act with integrity and intention. Without this grounding in self-love, sacrifice can become distorted, leading to resentment, exhaustion, or feelings of inadequacy. Sacrifice that arises from a place of self-neglect is often unsustainable and may result in emotional depletion. True self-love ensures that sacrifices are made from a place of abundance rather than lack, allowing them to be meaningful and fulfilling rather than burdensome. Self-love and sacrifice are intricately linked in the context of personal growth. To truly love oneself is to embrace the ongoing journey of becoming, which often requires letting go of old patterns, habits, or attachments that no longer serve. This process of sacrifice, releasing what is familiar to make room for what is possible, is a testament to self-love in action. It is a recognition that growth sometimes requires discomfort, and that the act of surrendering is not a loss but an investment in one's future self. By willingly making these sacrifices, individuals honor their potential and affirm their commitment to living authentically. Self-love and sacrifice are also profoundly spiritual concepts, reflecting the interconnectedness of all life. To truly love oneself is to recognize one's place within a greater whole, understanding that individual well-being is intricately linked to the well-being of others. Sacrifice, when guided by self-love, becomes an expression of this interconnectedness, a way of contributing to the collective good without losing oneself in the process. Whether it is giving time to a cause, sharing resources with those in need, or offering support to a friend, these acts of sacrifice are grounded in the awareness that love and generosity flow most freely from a place of inner abundance. The relationship between self-love and sacrifice is one of reciprocity and balance. Self-love provides the strength and clarity needed to make sacrifices that are meaningful and aligned with one's purpose. Sacrifice, in turn, deepens self-love by affirming one's capacity to give generously and to act in service of something greater than oneself. Together, they create a dynamic interplay that enriches both individual and collective existence, reminding us that the path to fulfillment lies not in choosing between self and others, but in embracing the interconnectedness of both. Love, in its purest form, is a reflection of the divine. It transcends the limitations of the human experience, reaching beyond the boundaries of the material world to connect us with something higher, something greater than ourselves. When we experience love in its truest sense, we are not just witnessing an emotional connection with another person, we are touching the divine essence that flows through all of existence. This divine reflection of love reveals the interconnectedness of all beings, the unity of spirit, and the eternal truth that love is the force that binds the universe together. At its core, divine love is not bound by time or space. It is an eternal energy that exists beyond the constructs of human perception. While human love often depends on external circumstances, desires, or conditions, divine love operates on a different level. It is unconditional, unchanging, and all-encompassing. When we experience this type of love, we feel a profound connection to the universe, as if we are one with everything around us. It is in these moments that we realize that love is not something we simply give or receive, it is something that flows through us, something that we are a part of. Love as a divine reflection invites us to see the world with new eyes. It asks us to recognize the divine spark in everyone we meet, to see the soul behind the physical form. When we understand that love is not limited to personal relationships but extends to all beings, all things, we begin to experience life differently. We no longer view others as separate from us. We see them as reflections of the same divine energy that flows through us. This recognition fosters compassion, empathy, and a deep understanding of the interconnectedness of all life. The divine reflection of love also teaches us about the nature of creation itself. Just as a reflection in a mirror is an image of the original object, love is a reflection of the divine source from which it originates. The universe itself, with all its beauty, complexity, and harmony, is an expression of this love. Everything in existence is a manifestation of the divine energy that seeks to express itself through love. Whether it is the beauty of a sunset, the bond between two people, or the quiet stillness of nature, love is present everywhere. It is the force that brings everything into being, sustains it, and ultimately returns it to its source. In this sense, love is the driving force behind all creation. It is not something we can control or manipulate. It is something that flows through us when we open ourselves to it. Divine love is a force of nature, much like gravity or light, that exists independently of our will, but can be experienced when we align ourselves with its flow. Just as we cannot force the sun to shine, we cannot force love to manifest. However, when we attune ourselves to the divine, when we open our hearts and minds, love flows effortlessly into our lives, transforming us in the process. This divine love is also a mirror for our own spiritual growth. When we experience love in its highest form, we are not just connecting with another person, but we are also connecting with the divine within ourselves. In loving another, we come to understand more deeply who we are, as we reflect the divine love that resides within us. This love teaches us that we are not separate from the divine, we are expressions of it, each of us a unique reflection of the same source. As we grow in our understanding of this divine love, we begin to see the divine in all aspects of life, from the simplest to the most complex, from the mundane to the extraordinary. Divine love also invites us to transcend the ego. The ego is the part of us that defines ourselves by our thoughts, our possessions, and our achievements. It often creates separation between us and others, convincing us that we are individual beings separate from the rest of the world. Divine love, however, calls us to let go of the ego and recognize the unity of all things. When we experience divine love, we see that we are not separate from others, but rather deeply connected to them. The boundaries between us dissolve, and we come to understand that we are all part of the same divine whole. This realization brings peace, as we no longer feel the need to compete, to prove ourselves, or to protect our sense of self. Instead, we can simply be, embracing the love that flows through us and through others. The divine reflection of love teaches us the power of surrender. In our daily lives, we often struggle to control the outcome of our actions, to force things to go a certain way. We may try to manipulate our circumstances or hold on to things that no longer serve us. However, divine love teaches us that true peace comes from surrender to the flow of life, surrender to the divine will. When we let go of our need to control, we make space for love to enter, for divine energy to guide us. Surrendering does not mean giving up, it means trusting in the divine plan, knowing that love is always at work, even in the most difficult moments. Love as a divine reflection also calls us to embody grace and forgiveness. When we understand that love is not personal but universal, we begin to forgive more easily. We recognize that those who hurt us are also expressions of the same divine energy, and through this understanding we find it easier to let go of grudges and to forgive. Forgiveness is not about excusing harmful behavior, it is about releasing ourselves from the bondage of anger and resentment, allowing love to flow freely once again. Thank you for your time and attention. May you continue to embrace the divine reflection of love in your life, allowing it to guide and inspire you on your journey. You walk into a room. Without uttering a single word, people turn their heads. They don't know why, but something about you caught their attention. They feel something, and that something is the energy you radiate. You are not just a body moving through time and space. You are a being of energy, vibrating with a unique frequency that extends far beyond your physical form. Every cell, every thought, every emotion you experience is part of an intricate dance of energy that is constantly interacting with the world around you. Your presence, even when you remain silent, emanates a powerful energy that others can feel, even if they cannot always explain it. This is the fundamental truth: you are energy. When you begin to understand that you are energy, everything changes. You realize that what you feel on the inside, your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, creates the energy that you radiate outward. Every single moment, whether you're aware of it or not, you are broadcasting a signal to the universe and to those around you. This energy is a reflection of your inner world, and it is this energy that attracts people, opportunities, and circumstances into your life. You are constantly transmitting your frequency, and the world around you is responding to it. Think about it. You can walk into a room and instantly sense the atmosphere. You may not know exactly why, but you can feel if the energy is warm, welcoming, tense, or heavy. This is because you too are a sensitive being, and your energy interacts with the energy around you. It's an exchange that is constantly happening, whether you are consciously aware of it or not. The people you encounter, the spaces you enter, are all influenced by the energy you bring with you. You are never disconnected from the flow of energy in your surroundings. You are always part of it. When you understand that you are energy, you also begin to realize that you have control over the frequency you emit. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, contributes to the vibration you send out into the world. If you walk around with negative thoughts and heavy emotions, that energy becomes your reality. People around you will feel it, whether they consciously realize it or not. You may find that you attract negativity, conflict, or difficulty because your energy is aligned with those experiences. But when you choose to cultivate positive thoughts, to focus on love, peace, and gratitude, your energy shifts. It becomes lighter, brighter, and more expansive. You begin to attract people, opportunities, and situations that match the high frequency you are now radiating. The more you focus on uplifting thoughts and positive emotions, the more you align with the highest energy available to you. The people around you will sense this transformation, and consciously or unconsciously, they will be drawn to your energy. Your energy does not only affect those around you, it also affects you. The way you feel about yourself directly impacts the way you perceive the world. If you are filled with self-doubt, fear, or insecurity, your energy will reflect that, and the world will mirror those feelings back to you. But when you embrace a sense of self-worth, confidence, and peace, your energy shifts, and you begin to see a world that is more supportive, loving, and abundant. Your perception changes, and so does your experience. The energy you project is what shapes the reality you live in. One of the most powerful things you can do is take responsibility for the energy you carry. You must become aware of the thoughts and feelings that influence your energy. When you become conscious of what you are thinking and feeling, you can make intentional choices about how you want to feel and what kind of energy you want to radiate. You are not at the mercy of your emotions or circumstances. You have the ability to change your energy, and when you do, you change everything around you. When you align with the energy of love, abundance, and gratitude, you create an atmosphere that others cannot help but be drawn to. You become magnetic, not because of your appearance or your words, but because of the energy you carry. Your energy speaks louder than anything you could ever say. People pick up on your vibration, and it influences how they respond to you. They may feel inspired, uplifted, or at ease just by being in your presence. The truth is, energy is contagious. When you are filled with positive energy, others can feel it and are naturally influenced by it. You have the power to shape your energy at any moment. No matter what is happening in the world around you, you can choose to shift your focus and change your inner state. By doing so, you raise your energy, and when you raise your energy, you raise your energy, you raise your entire life. The world will begin to reflect back the energy you emit, bringing you closer to your desires, your goals, and your dreams. It all begins with the awareness that you are energy. Your energy is not just a passive force, it is a creative power. It shapes your world and the world of those around you. When you choose to master your energy, you become the master of your reality. Your energy creates your experience, and in this truth lies the power to create a life that aligns with your deepest desires and truest self. You are energy, and that energy is everything. Your inner state is far more than just a collection of thoughts or fleeting emotions. It is the most powerful force in shaping the life you experience. It is the magnetic force that attracts everything you encounter in your world: people, circumstances, opportunities, and challenges. It's important to understand that your inner state, the way you feel, the emotional state you occupy, is like a magnet. Whatever you feel deeply on the inside, you draw towards you on the outside. The power of your inner state begins with the realization that your thoughts and emotions are not just passing states, they are creating your reality. The way you feel about yourself, your life, and the world around you sends out a signal to the universe. This signal acts like a magnetic force that pulls corresponding experiences and people toward you. When you are filled with fear, doubt, or worry, you are essentially broadcasting a frequency that resonates with more of the same energy. The universe, being responsive to the energy you send out, brings you experiences that match that vibration. You will find yourself attracting situations that reflect your inner state of unease, struggle, or limitation. On the other hand, when you cultivate an inner state of peace, love, joy, and confidence, you become a magnet for these positive experiences. The more you align your thoughts and emotions with the higher frequencies of gratitude, love, and abundance, the more you draw these experiences into your life. Just like a magnet pulls metal towards it, your inner state attracts people, circumstances, and opportunities that mirror the energy you are embodying. This is the universal law of attraction in its simplest form. What you feel, you attract. The most important aspect of this is that you are always emitting energy, whether you are consciously aware of it or not. If you are unaware of the emotional state you are operating from, you might find yourself unintentionally attracting situations that don't align with your desires. This is why awareness of your inner state is so crucial. By becoming conscious of how you feel, you gain the power to change it. If you don't like what you are attracting, take a moment to check in with your feelings. Are you feeling frustrated, hopeless, or stressed? These emotions are sending out a message to the universe, and that message is being reflected back to you in the form of challenging experiences. But you can change that. When you begin to focus on positive thoughts and emotions, you shift your inner state. When you choose to feel gratitude, even for the small things, you elevate your vibration. When you choose to feel abundant, even if your circumstances do not appear to be abundant, you begin to shift the energy you are sending out. The more you practice this, the more you will begin to notice changes in your life. You will start to see how opportunities begin to open up, how people treat you differently, and how the universe seems to bring more of what you want into your life. What's more, your inner state is contagious. The energy you carry influences others around you. If you are radiating calm, positivity, and confidence, people around you can feel it, even if they don't consciously recognize it. They are drawn to you because your energy resonates with them. You have the power to uplift those around you simply by maintaining a positive inner state. People often become inspired or feel at ease simply by being in your presence, because they are subconsciously responding to the energy you are putting out. In this way, your inner state doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone and everything in your life. It's like casting a stone into a pond. Your inner state creates ripples that touch everyone and everything around you. When you shift your energy, you also shift the dynamics of your relationships, your work, your finances, and your health. Positive energy attracts positive people, positive experiences, and positive circumstances. Negative energy, on the other hand, will pull negativity towards you. It's essential to realize that you have the power to direct your energy. You are not a victim of your circumstances, and you are not at the mercy of your emotions. When you become aware of your inner state, you take back control. You can consciously choose how you want to feel. By doing this, you are shaping the reality you experience. You are no longer simply reacting to life, you are actively creating it. So remember this, your inner state is a magnet. Whatever you feel deeply is what you attract. By learning to align your thoughts and emotions with the energy you wish to attract, you become the architect of your life. Take control of your inner state and watch as your world begins to shift in ways you may never have imagined. The energy you emit is the world you create, and when you master that energy, you master your destiny. Energy speaks louder than words, because it is the unspoken language of the universe. While words can convey meaning, energy communicates the true essence of what we are feeling, thinking, and experiencing. Every individual carries a unique energy, and this energy flows outward, impacting everything around them. Words can sometimes be deceptive or limited, but energy is authentic and undeniable. It reveals truths about us that words often cannot express or may try to hide. When you walk into a room, your energy enters first, long before you say a word. People may not consciously know what it is, but they can feel it. The way you carry yourself, the subtle vibration you emanate, is felt by everyone in your presence. Whether you are aware of it or not, your energy is constantly broadcasting your inner state to the world. It speaks volumes, and it speaks truthfully. It doesn't need words to make an impact, it just is. When we communicate, words are often the least important aspect of the conversation. The underlying energy, the emotional tone that accompanies the words is what truly matters. Think about a time when someone said something that appeared kind, but you sensed something wasn't right. Maybe their words were reassuring, but their energy conveyed something different, maybe fear, insecurity, or manipulation. You may not have been able to articulate it at the time, but on a deeper level, you recognize that the energy didn't align with the words. That is because energy is the true communicator. It is raw, unfiltered, and powerful. It cannot be hidden behind a mask or altered with words. The power of energy also lies in its ability to create connection without the need for verbal communication. Consider a deep friendship or a relationship where no words are necessary to understand each other. There's a knowing, a connection that goes beyond words. You can feel each other's energy, and this deep connection is often more profound than anything words could express. You intuitively understand how the other person is feeling because their energy speaks louder than what they say. This is why it's essential to be mindful of your inner state and the energy you project. Your energy shapes your world more powerfully than your words ever will. If you are constantly focused on negative thoughts, self-doubt, or fear, your energy will reflect that, and you will find yourself encountering more of the same. But when you choose to shift your energy to one of gratitude, love, and abundance, you begin to see your reality shift accordingly. People begin to respond to you differently, opportunities arise, and life starts to feel lighter and more aligned with your desires. The energy you bring to any situation is the most significant contribution you make. Whether in a conversation, a meeting, or a gathering, your energy is the driving force behind the interaction. It sets the tone, creates the atmosphere, and influences how others feel and behave. Words are important, but energy is the foundation. It is the silent language that communicates the most powerful truths, the most authentic expressions of who we are. You control the frequency you radiate, and that frequency shapes everything around you. Think of yourself as a transmitter, constantly emitting a signal into the universe. This signal is the energy you carry within your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and attitudes. Every thought you think, every feeling you experience, and every belief you hold is a part of the frequency you are sending out. This frequency, much like a radio signal, interacts with the world, drawing experiences, people, and circumstances into your life that match the vibration you're emitting. Many people are unaware that they are constantly radiating a frequency. Most of the time, they are simply responding to external stimuli, letting their emotions and thoughts be governed by the circumstances around them. However, this external influence doesn't have to control you. In fact, you have the power to choose the frequency you emit. Your inner state is like a dial on a radio, and you can adjust it at any time to tune into the frequency that aligns with your desires and intentions. The first step in taking control of the frequency you radiate is awareness. You must be conscious of how you feel and the thoughts that dominate your mind. Are they positive, uplifting, and aligned with your desires? Or are they negative, fear-based, and focused on lack or limitation? Every thought and feeling you entertain affects your frequency, so it's crucial to be mindful of what you're thinking and how you're feeling. When you focus on gratitude, love, abundance, and positivity, you raise your frequency. Conversely, when you dwell on fear, worry, frustration, or doubt, you lower your vibration. The beauty of this is that you have the power to shift your frequency at any moment. You are not a passive recipient of the world's energy, you are an active creator of your own reality. If you find yourself feeling negative or low, you can change the channel. Begin by focusing on something that brings you joy, something you are grateful for, or something that makes you feel loved and appreciated. Shift your thoughts and emotions in the direction of what you want, rather than what you fear or what is currently lacking in your life. As you adjust your frequency, you will begin to notice that the world around you starts to reflect this new energy. People will respond to you differently, situations will shift, and new opportunities will start to appear. It's also important to understand that your frequency is not just about your thoughts and feelings, it's also about your beliefs. Your beliefs are the core programming that influences your thoughts and emotions, and they ultimately shape your reality. If you believe that you are worthy of success, love, and abundance, you will radiate a frequency that attracts those things into your life. However, if you believe that you are unworthy, incapable, or undeserving, your frequency will align with those beliefs, and you will experience situations that reinforce them. This is why it's so essential to work on your self-belief and to reprogram any limiting beliefs that are keeping your frequency low. One powerful way to change your frequency is through the practice of visualization. When you imagine yourself living the life you desire, feeling the emotions of already having what you want, you align your inner state with the energy of your desires. Visualization helps you tune your frequency to the vibration of the life you want to create. As you visualize, you're not just thinking about your desires, you are feeling the emotions as if they are already real. This emotional charge sends out a powerful signal to the universe, telling it what you want to attract. Another way to control your frequency is through affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself, aligning your thoughts and feelings with the frequency of what you want. When you say things like, "I am worthy of love and abundance," or "I attract positive opportunities into my life," you are consciously choosing a frequency of abundance and positivity. The more you repeat these affirmations, the more your thoughts and beliefs shift, and the higher your vibration becomes. Your frequency also impacts the people and situations you attract. Like attracts like, so if you are radiating a high frequency of joy, love, and abundance, you will attract people and experiences that match that energy. Conversely, if you are stuck in a low frequency of fear, doubt, or negativity, you will attract situations and people that reinforce those feelings. By taking control of your frequency, you take control of the people and circumstances that enter your life. This is why it's so important to surround yourself with people who lift you up and inspire you. Their positive energy will help to elevate your frequency, and in turn, you will attract even more positivity into your life. The frequency you radiate is also tied to your self-worth. When you recognize that you are worthy of all the good things life has to offer, your frequency naturally rises. You stop settling for less, and you start attracting more of what you truly desire. On the other hand, if you struggle with self-doubt or feelings of unworthiness, you will unconsciously project that energy into the world, attracting experiences that reinforce those beliefs. Your worthiness is reflected in the frequency you send out, and when you raise that frequency, you raise your worthiness and your capacity to receive. Controlling the frequency you radiate is one of the most powerful tools you have for creating the life you desire. You are not a victim of your circumstances, you are the creator of your reality. By consciously choosing to radiate a higher frequency, you open yourself up to greater possibilities, deeper connections, and more fulfilling experiences. The world around you will begin to mirror the energy you send out, and you will see that your external reality is simply a reflection of your inner state. Take control of your frequency and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. What you hold in mind is what you broadcast to the world. Every thought, feeling, and belief that occupies your mind sends out a signal, creating a vibration that resonates with the universe. This is not just a theoretical concept, it is a fundamental truth that governs your life. Whether you are aware of it or not, you are constantly transmitting your inner world, and the energy you send out influences the circumstances, people, and experiences you attract. The universe responds to your thoughts and feelings, matching them with similar energy. Your mind is incredibly powerful. It shapes your perception of the world and determines the way you experience reality. When you focus on positive, empowering thoughts, you broadcast a frequency of abundance, success, and joy. Conversely, when you dwell on negativity, fear, or self-doubt, you send out a frequency of lack, struggle, and frustration. This energetic broadcast is not limited to your conscious thoughts, it includes your subconscious mind as well, which plays a significant role in what you attract into your life. When you focus on what you want, rather than what you don't want, you are more likely to attract it. The key is to hold the image of your desires firmly in your mind, and to feel the emotions associated with them. Visualization is a powerful tool for this. When you visualize yourself already living the life you desire, you align your thoughts and emotions with that reality. You start to emit the frequency of your desired outcome, sending a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive it. This not only shifts your mindset, but it also alters the energy you radiate, which in turn attracts the people, opportunities, and circumstances that align with your desires. But it's not just about wishing for something and hoping it will appear. You must embody the vibration of what you want. If you want love, for example, you must hold the thought of love in your mind and feel the emotions of love. If you want abundance, you must think abundantly and feel abundant. This is where the power of emotions comes in. Your feelings are the fuel that amplifies your thoughts. When you think positively but feel negatively, you are sending mixed signals which can confuse the universe and delay your manifestation. The alignment between your thoughts and feelings is crucial in broadcasting the right signal. One of the most powerful ways to ensure that you are broadcasting the frequency of what you want is to practice mindfulness. Pay attention to your thoughts and notice when they shift toward negativity or doubt. If you find yourself thinking about what you don't want or fearing the worst, consciously redirect your thoughts to what you do want. Replace worry with trust, fear with confidence, and lack with abundance. By doing so, you take control of the frequency you are broadcasting, ensuring that it aligns with your desires. Your subconscious mind also plays a pivotal role in what you broadcast. While your conscious mind is the thinking mind, the subconscious is the emotional mind, and it governs much of your behavior, beliefs, and reactions. If your subconscious mind is programmed with limiting beliefs or negative thought patterns, it can sabotage your efforts to create the life you desire. This is why it's important to reprogram your subconscious by consistently feeding it with positive affirmations, visualizations, and empowering beliefs. As you shift your subconscious programming, you begin to broadcast a different energy, one that aligns with your true desires and purpose. Another important aspect of broadcasting the right energy is the law of attraction. This universal law states that like attracts like. In other words, the energy you put out into the world will attract similar energy back to you. If you are constantly holding thoughts of gratitude, abundance, and love in your mind, you will attract more of those things into your life. On the other hand, if you focus on fear, lack, or negativity, you will attract experiences that mirror those feelings. The law of attraction works whether you are aware of it or not, so it's crucial to be mindful of what you are thinking and feeling at all times. It's important to note that what you hold in mind is not just about the things you consciously think about. Your habitual thoughts and feelings are just as important. If you constantly worry about money, for instance, you are broadcasting a frequency of lack. If you frequently think about your past mistakes or failures, you are broadcasting a frequency of regret and limitation. These subconscious thought patterns can unknowingly keep you stuck in a cycle of attracting more of what you don't want. That's why it's essential to become aware of your habitual thoughts and to replace them with thoughts that are aligned with your desired reality. In addition to your thoughts and feelings, your actions also play a role in what you broadcast. Actions are a reflection of your inner state and reinforce the frequency you are sending out. When you take inspired action toward your goals, you are reinforcing your commitment to manifesting your desires. This action, coupled with the right thoughts and feelings, amplifies the signal you are broadcasting, making it more likely that the universe will respond with the people, resources, and opportunities that align with your vision. What you hold in mind is what you broadcast because your mind creates your reality. The thoughts and emotions you focus on are like a magnet, drawing experiences into your life that match your frequency. If you want to create a life filled with love, success, and abundance, you must focus on those things in your mind. You must cultivate the feelings of already having them, and you must take inspired action to bring them into your life. By consciously choosing the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that align with your desires, you are broadcasting the frequency of your dreams. The universe will respond by bringing you closer to what you are radiating. Energy is contagious, and it spreads far beyond our conscious awareness. It is a force that flows from one person to another, shaping interactions, environments, and experiences. You may not realize it, but the energy you carry within you affects everyone around you. Whether you are aware of it or not, your emotional state, thoughts, and energy radiate out and influence the people you encounter. Likewise, the energy of others can impact you, affecting your mood, thoughts, and actions. This is why it is so important to be mindful of the energy you surround yourself with, and to consciously choose the energy you project. The energy you emit is not limited to just your thoughts and feelings. It encompasses your entire being, your body language, your tone of voice, your presence, and even your unspoken intentions. When you enter a room, the energy you bring with you can either uplift or drain the people around you. A person who exudes positivity, warmth, and enthusiasm naturally attracts others who resonate with that energy. On the other hand, someone who radiates negativity, frustration, or anger can create tension and discomfort in those nearby. This is why it's often said that energy speaks louder than words. The energy you carry communicates far more than your words ever could, influencing how people respond to you and how situations unfold. Your energy is contagious because it operates on a subconscious level. People are highly sensitive to the energy of others, even if they don't consciously recognize it. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt the mood shift, even though no one said anything? Or have you ever been around someone who, no matter how quiet they are, makes you feel either energized or drained? That's the power of energy at work. It's not just the spoken words or the actions, it's the underlying energy that permeates everything. This is especially true in relationships. Whether in friendships, family dynamics, or romantic partnerships, the energy you bring to the relationship will determine its nature and direction. If you constantly project love, understanding, and positive energy, you create an environment where those qualities can thrive. Conversely, if you bring negativity, resentment, or hostility into the relationship, you invite conflict, disconnection, and tension. Energy in relationships is like a dance. One person's energy can influence the others, and the exchange of energy can either enhance or diminish the connection. The contagious nature of energy also extends to the workplace and other social environments. In a team setting, for example, the energy of one person can lift the entire group, boosting morale, creativity, and productivity. And when one individual brings enthusiasm, optimism, and drive to a project, it has a ripple effect, motivating others to adopt a similar attitude. On the other hand, negativity or pessimism can drag down the entire team, creating an atmosphere of stagnation or even conflict. This is why it's so important to be aware of the energy you contribute to any environment. Your energy can influence the collective mood and the outcomes of any situation. The contagiousness of energy is also rooted in the concept of vibration. Everything in the universe vibrates at a certain frequency, including human beings. When you are in a positive emotional state, your vibration is high, and you naturally attract others who resonate with that frequency. When you are feeling negative or low, your vibration drops, and you may find that you attract more of the same energy, more negativity, or situations that reinforce those low vibrations. Energy is a frequency, and like attracts like. The energy you emit acts as a magnet, drawing in experiences and people that match your frequency. This is why it is so important to take responsibility for the energy you bring into any situation. It's easy to become a passive recipient of the energy around you, especially when you are exposed to negativity or stress. However, you always have the choice to take control of your energy. You can decide to raise your vibration by focusing on positive thoughts, cultivating feelings of gratitude and love, and engaging in activities that make you feel good. When you consciously choose to raise your energy, you not only improve your own experience, but also influence the energy of those around you in a positive way. One of the most powerful ways to raise your energy is through self-awareness. Pay attention to how you feel in different situations and around different people. Notice when your energy shifts and what triggers those shifts. Are you spending time with people who uplift you, or are you surrounded by individuals who drain your energy? Are you focusing on thoughts and beliefs that support your well-being, or are you letting negativity take hold? By becoming more aware of the energy you are giving and receiving, you can consciously shift your focus and cultivate a higher frequency. It's also essential to protect your energy. Not every situation or person is conducive to your well-being, and sometimes it's necessary to set boundaries in order to preserve your energy. If you find yourself in an environment where negativity is rampant, it's important to either remove yourself or practice energy protection techniques. This could include taking a few moments to center yourself, using visualization to shield yourself from negative energy, or simply leaving a situation that feels draining. Protecting your energy allows you to maintain your own vibration and not be pulled down by the energy of others. The contagious nature of energy is a reminder that we are all interconnected. The energy we give to the world has a ripple effect, touching people and situations in ways we may not even realize. By cultivating positive energy within ourselves and being mindful of how we interact with the world, we can create a more harmonious and uplifting environment for ourselves and others. The energy you radiate matters, and by consciously choosing to spread love, positivity, and kindness, you have the power to transform not only your own life, but the lives of those around you. Master your energy, master your reality. This statement holds a profound truth that governs every aspect of our lives. Energy is the essence of all things. It is the force that drives creation, movement, and transformation. Whether we realize it or not, we are constantly interacting with energy both within ourselves and the world around us. Every thought, emotion, and belief we hold is a form of energy that shapes our reality. By learning to master our energy, we can learn to master the life we experience. At its core, energy is the invisible force that influences everything in the universe. From the smallest particles of matter to the grandest cosmic movements, everything is powered by energy. This includes our thoughts and emotions. Our minds are not separate from the energy around us, they are deeply interconnected. The energy you carry within you has the ability to attract, repel, and shape the circumstances of your life. If you are unaware of this, you may unknowingly be allowing external forces to dictate your reality. But once you understand that you control your energy, you realize that you also control the direction of your life. Energy is not static. It is constantly shifting and changing. This is why your internal state, the way you think and feel, is so powerful. It is like a magnet that draws experiences to you. When you feel positive emotions like love, joy, and gratitude, you align yourself with higher frequencies of energy, which in turn attract experiences that resonate with those emotions. On the other hand, when you allow negative emotions like fear, anger, or frustration to dominate your inner world, you lower your frequency and attract experiences that reflect those lower energies. The reality you experience is a direct reflection of the energy you hold within. To master your energy is to take control of the thoughts, emotions, and beliefs that shape your internal landscape. The first step is awareness. Without awareness, you cannot change anything. You must begin by observing your thoughts and emotions, recognizing when you are operating from a place of fear, scarcity, or negativity. Pay attention to the moments when you feel drained, disconnected, or out of alignment with your true self. These are the moments when your energy is not being directed intentionally, and they are the moments that require your attention. Once you become aware of the energy you are carrying, the next step is to consciously choose the energy you wish to embody. Just as you can choose what to think, you can also choose how to feel. Instead of allowing external circumstances to dictate your emotional state, you have the power to shift your focus and change your energy. This is the foundation of mastering your reality. So, when you choose to feel empowered, abundant, and at peace, you align yourself with the energies of creation and manifestation. You begin to broadcast a frequency that draws to you the experiences, people, and opportunities that match that energy. Mastering your energy also involves taking responsibility for the energy you give to the world. You are constantly emitting energy through your words, actions, and intentions. If you are continually sending out negativity, doubt, or resentment, you are creating a reality where those energies are reflected back to you. However, if you choose to radiate positivity, kindness, and gratitude, you are contributing to the creation of a world filled with those same qualities. The energy you put into the world is never lost, it always returns to you in one form or another. This is the power of the law of attraction, like attracts like. The more you cultivate positive energy within, the more you will attract positive circumstances and people into your life. To truly master your energy, you must also learn to protect it. Life will always present challenges, and there will be people and situations that attempt to drain your energy. It is crucial to recognize when you are being influenced by external negativity and to take steps to safeguard your energy. This can be done through setting healthy boundaries, practicing mindfulness, and engaging in activities that replenish your energy, such as meditation, exercise, or spending time in nature. The more you protect your energy, the more you will be able to maintain a high vibration, even in the face of adversity. Another aspect of mastering your energy is learning to align with your higher self. When you are in alignment with your true essence, your soul's purpose, your inner wisdom, your deepest desires, you are operating at your highest frequency. This alignment allows you to move through life with grace, clarity, and confidence. When you are out of alignment, you feel lost, disconnected, or uncertain. To return to alignment, you must trust in your inner guidance and let go of the fears and doubts that hold you back. Your higher self knows what is best for you, and when you align with it, you step into your power. As you master your energy, you also learn to master your reality. The more you take charge of your internal state, the more control you have over the external circumstances of your life. You begin to realize that you are not a passive observer of life, you are an active creator. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs have the power to shape your reality in ways you may have never imagined. By consciously directing your energy, you can manifest your desires, attract the people and opportunities you need, and create a life that aligns with your deepest aspirations. Mastering your energy is not about controlling every moment or forcing things to happen. It is about cultivating a state of awareness, intention, and alignment with your true self. When you master your energy, you are no longer a victim of circumstances, you are the creator of your experience. Your energy is the key to unlocking the life you desire, and when you learn to master it, you master your reality. In conclusion, mastering your energy is the key to transforming your reality. Everything in your life, your circumstances, relationships, and opportunities are shaped by the energy you emit. By becoming aware of your internal state and consciously choosing the energy you project, you begin to align with your highest potential. Remember, you are not a passive observer of your life, you are the creator. Your energy is powerful, and when you harness it with intention, you unlock the ability to manifest your desires and create a life filled with positivity, abundance, and fulfillment. Thank you for your time and attention. May you step into the power of your energy and use it to shape the reality you desire. My friends, to call on God is to awaken the truth of your being. It is not a plea to some distant deity, but an intimate communion with the eternal presence within you. To truly understand how to call on God, you must first recognize an extraordinary truth: God dwells within you. This revelation is the foundation upon which all spiritual transformation rests. It is not a poetic metaphor or a comforting idea, it is an immutable reality. The divine presence is not some far-off entity in the heavens, watching your life from a distance. It is the very essence of your being, closer to you than your own breath. When you look outward for God, you miss the most profound aspect of His nature. Searching for answers in the external world leads only to confusion and frustration. The miracles, the power, and the wisdom you seek are already within you, waiting to be realized. This inner presence is not a fragment of God, but the fullness of Him expressed through your consciousness. To awaken to this truth is to recognize your divine nature and the limitless potential that comes with it. God within you means that the creative power of the universe resides in the depths of your soul. Every thought, every desire, and every dream are infused with divine energy. When you imagine something, you are not merely entertaining a passing idea. You are activating this divine presence to bring forth the reality you envision. This is why the imagination is sacred. It is the tool through which God expresses His power in your life. Think about the implications of this truth. If God truly dwells within you, then there is nothing you lack. The peace you seek, the love you desire, the abundance you crave, all of it is already yours in potential. The only thing required is for you to acknowledge this reality and align yourself with it. This alignment begins with a change in perception. Instead of seeing yourself as separate from God, recognize that you are one with Him, an extension of His infinite being. To call on God, then, is not to reach outward but to turn inward. It is to silence the noise of the world and listen to the still, small voice within. This voice is not always loud or commanding. It is subtle, gentle, and unwavering. It speaks through your intuition, your desires, and your imagination. When you feel a deep longing for something, that is God stirring within you, guiding you toward the fulfillment of your highest potential. But how often do we ignore this inner presence? We search for answers in the opinions of others, in external circumstances, or in fleeting distractions. We assume that the solutions to our problems lie outside of us, when in reality everything we need is already present within. The act of calling on God is a return to this inner source. It is a remembrance of who you truly are, a being created in the image of the divine, endowed with the same creative power that formed the universe. There is a profound sense of peace that comes from this understanding. When you know that God dwells within you, you no longer feel the need to strive, struggle, or beg for what you desire. Instead, you approach life with a quiet confidence, knowing that you are supported by an infinite power. This does not mean you sit idly by and wait for things to happen. It means you act from a place of trust, guided by the inner assurance that the divine presence is working through you to bring your desires to fruition. This inner connection to God also means that you are never alone. No matter how difficult your circumstances may appear, no matter how isolated you may feel, the presence of God within you remains constant. In moments of doubt or despair, you can turn inward and find solace in this truth. The world may change, people may come and go, but the divine presence within you is eternal and unchanging. To live with the awareness that God dwells within you is to live a life of empowerment. You begin to see yourself not as a victim of circumstance, but as a creator of your reality. You understand that your thoughts and beliefs shape the world around you, and you take responsibility for aligning them with the divine vision within you. This is not a burden but a privilege, for it allows you to co-create with God the life you were meant to live. When you truly embrace this truth, prayer takes on a new meaning. It is no longer a desperate plea to an external deity, but a loving conversation with the divine presence within. You speak to God as you would to a trusted friend, knowing that He hears you because He is a part of you. And when you listen in return, you hear His guidance, not in words but in the quiet convictions of your heart. The realization that God dwells within you is the key to unlocking the fullness of life. It transforms the way you see yourself, others, and the world around you. You begin to recognize the divine not only within yourself, but in everyone and everything. This awareness fosters compassion, gratitude, and a deep sense of purpose. So today, remember this truth: God is not distant or separate from you. He is the essence of your being, the source of your imagination, and the power behind your every prayer. To call on Him is to awaken to this divine presence within, to align yourself with His will, and to live in the joy of His infinite love. Faith is the bridge that connects your desires to their fulfillment, the invisible thread that links the seen and the unseen, the physical and the spiritual. When you call on God, it is faith that activates the process, breathing life into your words and thoughts. Without faith, your call is empty, a hollow sound that dissipates in the vastness of doubt. But with faith, even the smallest whisper carries the weight of the divine, setting into motion forces that work tirelessly to bring your desires into reality. Faith is not hope, nor is it wishful thinking. Hope looks forward, but faith declares that the future is already here. Faith does not waver or question. It knows with absolute certainty that what has been asked for is already granted. This certainty is not dependent on what the eyes see or what the ears hear. Faith moves beyond the physical senses and rests in the conviction of the unseen. It is the assurance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. When you call on God, you are not making a request to a distant power. You are affirming that the power of creation itself is already at work within you. Faith is the force that ignites this power, transforming a simple call into a divine command. It is not about begging or pleading, it is about claiming and believing. When you have faith, you are not asking if something is possible, you are declaring that it is already done. This activation of faith begins within your mind. Every thought carries energy, and thoughts born of faith carry the highest vibration. When you align your thoughts with what you desire and believe it to be true, you align yourself with the divine will. This alignment is what activates your call. It is not about forcing or controlling the outcome, it is about trusting the process and allowing the divine to work through you. Doubt, on the other hand, is the enemy of faith. It is the silent thief that undermines your call and delays your blessings. Doubt arises when you rely too heavily on external circumstances, when you allow what you see to dictate what you believe. But faith moves in the opposite direction. It begins with belief, independent of external evidence, and reshapes the world to match that belief. To activate your call through faith, you must let go of doubt and trust that the divine is already at work, even if you cannot yet see the results. Faith is not passive, it requires action. This action is not necessarily physical but mental and emotional. It is the act of maintaining your belief even when circumstances seem contrary. It is the act of imagining your desire as fulfilled, feeling the emotions of joy and gratitude as if it has already happened. These acts of faith are what sustain the power of your call and keep it alive until the unseen becomes seen. Gratitude is a natural extension of faith. When you give thanks for something before it manifests, you are expressing your belief that it is already done. This gratitude is a powerful force, amplifying your faith and reinforcing your call. It shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from waiting to receiving. Gratitude is the language of faith, and when you speak it, you affirm that your call has been heard and answered. Faith also requires persistence. The fulfillment of your call may not come immediately, and this is where many falter. They give up too soon, allowing doubt to creep in and dismantle their belief. But faith persists, holding steadfast even in the face of delay. It trusts in the timing of the divine, knowing that what is meant to be will unfold perfectly, at the right time and in the right way. Persistence in faith is not about forcing the outcome, but about staying aligned with the belief that it is already yours. Calling on God with faith is an act of co-creation. You are not waiting passively for something to happen, you are an active participant in the process. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs shape the outcome, just as a potter shapes clay. Faith is the tool that molds the unseen into form, turning your desires into tangible reality. It is through faith that you exercise the creative power of the divine within you, bringing your vision to life. Faith is deeply personal. It cannot be borrowed from others or imposed upon you. It is something you cultivate within yourself through reflection, practice, and experience. Each time you act in faith and see your call answered, your belief grows stronger. This inner growth is the foundation of a life lived in harmony with the divine. To call on God with faith is to step into a state of absolute trust and certainty. It is to recognize that the power of creation is already at work within you, responding to your thoughts, your words, and your feelings. It is to know that you are not separate from the divine, but an integral part of its infinite expression. Faith is the key that unlocks the door to this realization, allowing you to access the fullness of your potential. So when you call on God, do so with faith. Do not let doubt or fear weaken your call. Stand firm in your belief, knowing that what you seek is already yours. Trust in the process, give thanks in advance, and persist in your faith. The divine hears your call, and through faith, you activate the limitless power within you to bring it to life. The imagination is far more than a tool for fleeting daydreams or idle fantasies. It is the sacred gateway to the divine, the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the doorway through which creation flows. When you engage your imagination, you tap into the infinite power within you, the power to shape your reality, transform your circumstances, and call into existence the life you desire. The imagination is not a mere faculty of the mind, it is the very mechanism by which the divine expresses itself through you. When you close your eyes and envision something, you are not simply picturing an image in your mind. You are engaging the creative force that has brought everything into existence. The mountains, the stars, the oceans, all of these began in the imagination of the Creator, and you, made in His image, possess the same divine ability. Every thought you vividly imagine and consistently dwell upon sets into motion unseen forces, aligning the universe to bring that thought into reality. Your imagination is not bound by the limitations of the physical world. It is a realm of pure potential, where time and space hold no sway. In your imagination, you are free to explore the infinite, to see beyond what your physical senses reveal. This freedom is your greatest gift, for it allows you to transcend the constraints of your current circumstances and step into the life you wish to create. The key is to recognize that what you imagine with conviction and emotional intensity is not merely a vision of what could be, it is a preview of what is already real in the unseen realm. Doubt often arises when the physical world appears unchanged despite your inner vision. But the imagination operates in a realm beyond the physical, and its effects may not always be immediately visible. Just as seeds planted in the soil take time to sprout and grow, the seeds you plant in your imagination require faith and persistence to bear fruit. It is not your job to question how or when your vision will manifest. Your role is simply to trust in the process and remain steadfast in your imagination. Your emotions are the fuel that powers your imagination. When you imagine something with indifference or skepticism, the energy behind it is weak and its chances of manifesting diminish. But when you imagine with excitement, gratitude, and unwavering belief, you infuse your vision with the energy it needs to take form. Feel the joy of having what you desire, the peace of being where you want to be, and the gratitude for all that you have created. These emotions elevate your imagination to a level where it becomes a powerful force for change. Many underestimate the imagination, dismissing it as mere fantasy. But the world you see around you is the result of someone's imagination. Every invention, every work of art, every achievement began as a thought, a vision in someone's mind. What sets those who create extraordinary lives apart is their willingness to believe in the power of their imagination and to act upon it with conviction. They understand that the imagination is not a passive force, but an active gateway to transformation. When challenges arise, it is easy to fall back into patterns of fear, doubt, and limitation. But these moments are when your imagination becomes most important. Instead of focusing on the problem, use your imagination to see the solution. Instead of dwelling on what is lacking, imagine abundance. Instead of replaying the story of your failures, envision your triumphs. Your imagination allows you to rewrite the narrative of your life, to see yourself not as a victim of circumstance, but as the creator of your destiny. This power of imagination is not reserved for a select few. It is inherent in everyone, a divine gift that lies dormant until you choose to awaken it. The only difference between those who live extraordinary lives and those who do not is the willingness to use this gift consciously. When you realize that your imagination is the gateway to all that you desire, you begin to approach life with a sense of wonder and possibility. No longer do you see obstacles as insurmountable, you see them as opportunities to expand your vision and deepen your faith. The imagination requires practice to reach its full potential. Like any skill, it becomes stronger and more effective the more you use it. Begin by setting aside time each day to engage your imagination deliberately. Close your eyes and picture the life you want to live. See it in vivid detail, as though it were already real. Feel the emotions associated with that life, the joy, the gratitude, the peace. The more you practice, the more natural this process will become, and the more powerfully your imagination will work on your behalf. To speak from the end is to step into the world of creation with a profound understanding of its nature. It is the act of claiming what you desire as though it has already come to pass, of living in the state of fulfillment before it appears in your external reality. This principle is not rooted in wishful thinking or pretense, but in the recognition that everything begins and ends within you. The moment you imagine your desire as fulfilled, you bring it into being. The only question is whether you will persist in that conviction long enough for it to manifest in the physical world. When you speak from the end, you align yourself with the truth that creation is finished. All possibilities already exist, waiting for you to call them into your experience through your thoughts, feelings, and words. You are not asking for something to be done, you are affirming that it is done. This shift in perspective transforms your relationship with life, placing you in the position of authority rather than one of lack or need. Speaking from the end is an act of faith, a declaration that you trust the unseen to become seen. Many struggle with this concept because they are conditioned to rely on their senses. They look at their current circumstances and see evidence of lack, limitation, or delay. But to speak from the end is to rise above the evidence of the senses and operate from a higher truth. It is to declare, I am wealthy even when your bank account suggests otherwise. It is to say, I am loved even when you feel alone. By speaking from the end, you assert that your inner reality determines your outer reality, not the other way around. This practice requires more than words. It demands that you embody the feeling of your desire as already fulfilled. Words alone, if empty of conviction, lack the power to create. But when your words are infused with emotion and belief, they become a force that shapes reality. To say I am and truly feel it is to call forth the essence of what you declare. The feeling is the secret, it is the energy that bridges the gap between imagination and manifestation. Speaking from the end is not about ignoring reality or denying the present. It is about transcending it. Your present circumstances are not the final word on your life, they are merely a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. To change them, you must first change your inner state. By speaking from the end, you align your mind and emotions with the reality you wish to create, allowing it to unfold naturally in your experience. Doubt often arises when you do not see immediate results. But this is where persistence comes into play. Creation follows a process, and the timing of manifestation is not always predictable. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, your desires require patience and faith to come to fruition. When you speak from the end, you must remain steadfast, even in the face of delay or opposition. Trust that what you have claimed is already on its way, and do not waver in your conviction. Gratitude is a powerful companion to speaking from the end. When you give thanks for something as though it has already been received, you reinforce your belief in its reality. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from waiting to receiving. It creates a sense of certainty and joy that aligns you with the fulfillment of your desire. By expressing gratitude in advance, you accelerate the process of manifestation and deepen your connection to the end result. Silence is often overlooked in a world filled with constant noise, distractions, and the perpetual hum of activity. Yet, in the quiet, profound things occur, things that cannot be understood by the senses, only experienced in stillness. Silence is not merely the absence of sound, but the presence of a sacred channel through which divine insight, creativity, and manifestation flow. It is within this silence that we connect to the deepest parts of ourselves, and through it, we align with the larger forces of the universe. This sacred channel of silence is also a space of creation. When we are caught in the noise of daily life, we are often too distracted to recognize the desires of our heart. We may find ourselves pursuing goals or making decisions based on external pressures or societal expectations rather than following our true path. But in silence, we reconnect with our innermost desires. We are able to hear the calling of our soul, to discern what truly matters, and to align our actions with our purpose. In this quiet space, we create the blueprint of our future, not by striving or pushing, but by allowing the vision to unfold naturally from within. It is within the sacred silence that we also come to realize our inherent power. The world often encourages us to look outside of ourselves for validation or answers, but true strength is found within. Silence allows us to recognize that we are not separate from the universe, we are an integral part of it. In this stillness, we experience the interconnectedness of all things, the flow of energy that connects us to everything around us. It is in the quiet that we tap into the divine wisdom that exists within us and recognize that we are always supported by the universe, even when we cannot see the path ahead. when practiced consistently, also cultivates peace. In a world that often feels chaotic and turbulent, silence acts as an anchor, grounding us in a space of calm. It is easy to become swept up in the noise of the world, its demands, its fears, its distractions. But silence reminds us that peace is always available to us, regardless of external circumstances. When we create space for silence, we reconnect with the part of ourselves that is already whole, already at peace, and able to navigate the storms of life with equanimity. Silence invites us to be present. In a world obsessed with the future and the past, we often forget to fully experience the present moment. We may be physically present, but mentally absent, lost in thoughts about what has happened or what might come. Silence calls us back to the present, to the now. It invites us to be fully aware of the sensations, feelings and thoughts that arise in this moment, without judgment or distraction. Through silence, we cultivate mindfulness, learning to live in the moment and experience life as it unfolds, rather than constantly chasing after the next thing. Silence invites us into a state of surrender. We live in a culture that values control, action, and doing. But silence teaches us that sometimes the greatest power lies in letting go. In the silence, we release the need to control every aspect of our lives, to plan every detail, and to force outcomes. We surrender to the flow of life, trusting that the universe has a plan for us, even when we cannot see it. This surrender does not mean passivity, rather, it is a surrender to the wisdom of the universe, a recognition that we are co-creators with the divine. To embrace silence is to open the door to profound transformation. It is a space where the noise of the world fades away and the truth of who we are rises to the surface. Silence is a sacred channel that connects us to the divine, to our inner wisdom, and to the flow of creation itself. In this space of stillness we find clarity, peace, purpose, and power. It is in silence that we hear the whispers of our heart and the guidance of the universe. And it is in silence that we come to know the profound truth that everything we seek is already within us. Gratitude is a powerful force that can transform your life in ways you might not fully comprehend at first. It is not just a polite gesture or a social nicety, it is a profound tool for creating positive change in your internal world and consequently in your external circumstances. When you adopt gratitude as a way of being, it opens the door to abundance, joy, and fulfillment. It shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have. And this shift in perspective changes everything. At its core, gratitude is the recognition of the goodness that already exists in your life. It's not about waiting for circumstances to improve or for external situations to change. It's about tuning into the present moment and acknowledging the blessings, big and small, that are already around you. Often we become so focused on our desires and unmet needs that we overlook the many ways in which we are already supported, loved, and cared for. Gratitude reminds us to stop and look at the present moment, to appreciate what we have, and to honor the beauty that already exists in our lives. When you practice gratitude, you are choosing to shift your mindset from one of lack to one of abundance. In our society, we are often taught to focus on what we don't have, what we need, and what is missing from our lives. This mindset keeps us trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction and longing, never feeling truly content with what we have. But when you make gratitude a habit, you start to notice the abundance that already surrounds you. You realize that you are already rich in so many ways in your relationships, in your health, in your opportunities, and in your capacity for joy. This recognition brings peace to your heart and opens the door for more good to enter your life. Gratitude also serves as a powerful tool for reprogramming your subconscious mind. The thoughts we entertain on a daily basis shape our reality, and when we focus on the things we are grateful for, we align ourselves with positive energy and vibrations. Our minds begin to recognize the good that is constantly available to us, and this reinforces the feeling of abundance. Gratitude shifts our attention away from negativity and fear, replacing those low vibration states with higher energies that attract more positive experiences. When you focus on gratitude, you begin to magnetize more of the same into your life. What you appreciate, appreciates. One of the most transformative aspects of gratitude is its ability to bring healing. Life can be challenging, and it's easy to become consumed by pain, disappointment, or loss. However, when you practice gratitude, you begin to see that even in the midst of hardship, there are things to be grateful for. Gratitude helps you find meaning in your struggles and teaches you to look for the lessons in every experience. It opens your heart to forgiveness, both yourself and others, and allows you to release resentment, fear, and anger. When you choose gratitude, you choose healing over hurt, growth over stagnation, and love over fear. Gratitude also strengthens your relationships. When you express gratitude to the people in your life, you not only make them feel valued, but you also strengthen the bond between you. Gratitude is a powerful form of acknowledgement. It shows others that you see and appreciate them for who they are and what they bring into your life. It also deepens your connection with yourself as you begin to recognize the support, care, and love you have received from others. Practicing gratitude opens the lines of communication and creates an atmosphere of mutual respect and appreciation. When gratitude is present in a relationship, it fosters trust, love, and understanding. Gratitude allows you to embrace the present moment fully. We often spend so much time worrying about the future or ruminating over the past that we miss the beauty of the present. But when we take time each day to reflect on what we are grateful for, we become more attuned to the here and now. Gratitude forces us to slow down and take stock of the blessings in our lives, no matter how small they may seem. Whether it's the warmth of the sun on your face, a kind word from a friend, or the comfort of a home, gratitude brings us into the present moment and allows us to savor life's simple joys. When you are grateful, you also invite more joy into your life. Gratitude is closely linked with happiness because it is an active form of appreciation. The more you focus on what is good in your life, the more you attract joy and positive energy. It lifts your mood and encourages a mindset of possibility rather than limitation. When you express gratitude, you open your heart to the experience of joy, and this joy becomes a magnet for more joyful experiences. It shifts your energy from scarcity to abundance, and in that shift you begin to notice how much more you have to be thankful for. A deep sense of gratitude can also be a key to resilience. Life is not without its difficulties, and there are times when we face challenges that feel overwhelming. However, gratitude provides the strength and perspective needed to endure those difficult times. When you can still find something to be grateful for, even in the face of adversity, you tap into a source of inner strength. Gratitude becomes a source of power that allows you to rise above your circumstances and find peace, even in the midst of chaos. It shifts your focus from what is wrong to what is right, empowering you to face challenges with courage and optimism. Gratitude is not just something to be practiced in moments of ease, it is something that can be cultivated even during times of difficulty. It is a choice, and like any choice, it takes practice. But when gratitude becomes a daily habit, it transforms your life. It rewires your brain to focus on the good, increases your emotional well-being, and aligns you with abundance. The more you practice gratitude, the more you recognize how much there is to be thankful for, and the more your life begins to reflect that abundance. Gratitude is truly the key that unlocks the door to a richer, more fulfilling life, and it is always within your reach. All it requires is your willingness to recognize and appreciate the goodness that is already present. Persistence is a force that can break through barriers, shatter limitations, and transform dreams into reality. It is the key that unlocks the door to success, growth, and personal fulfillment. Life is filled with challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt, but it is persistence, the unwavering commitment to keep going, that separates those who achieve greatness from those who fall short. When you persist, you send a message to the universe that you are not easily deterred, that you are willing to push through difficulty and remain steadfast in your pursuit of what you desire. Persistence requires resilience. It is the ability to keep moving forward even when progress seems slow or non-existent. Every person who has ever achieved something significant has encountered obstacles along the way. The road to success is not linear, and it is not without its bumps. Yet it is the person who persists through adversity that finds the breakthroughs and triumphs that others might only dream of. In every challenge lies an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable, and persistence is what gives you the strength to rise after every fall. One of the greatest aspects of persistence is that it builds character. It teaches you to stand firm in the face of uncertainty and to trust in your own abilities, even when the outcome is unclear. Every time you push through a difficult situation, you build confidence and self-belief. You begin to understand that success is not defined by how many times you fall, but by how many times you get back up. Each failure, each setback is an opportunity to learn, to adjust your approach, and to become better. Persistence is the tool that allows you to refine your skills, improve your strategies, and continue moving forward, even when the world seems to be working against you. Persistence also fosters patience. In a world that values instant gratification, it is easy to become discouraged when things don't happen quickly. We want results now, and when those results don't come right away, frustration sets in. But persistence teaches us that success is often a slow and steady process. It teaches us to trust that the effort we put in today will yield results in the future. Just as a seed requires time, water, and care to grow into a tree, so too does our hard work need time to bear fruit. Through persistence, we learn the art of patience, the understanding that true success comes to those who are willing to stay the course and allow things to unfold naturally. Persistence is also an act of faith. When you persist in your goals, you are demonstrating trust in the process. You may not see immediate results, but you continue anyway because you believe in the outcome. It requires a deep belief that your efforts will pay off in the end, even when the evidence suggests otherwise. This faith is a powerful force as it enables you to overcome doubts, fears, and discouragement. The act of persistence is itself a form of self-assurance, a reminder that the work you are doing is not in vain. And when you persist with unwavering faith, the universe aligns itself with your efforts, gradually opening doors that were once closed. When you are persistent, you create momentum. The initial steps toward any goal can often feel like the hardest. The first attempts may seem slow and laborious, but with each action you take, you gain more energy and confidence. Persistence builds upon itself, and the more you persist, the more progress you make. Even if the progress is not immediately visible, it is accumulating in ways you might not yet realize. Just as the steady drip of water can eventually carve through rock, your consistent efforts, no matter how small they may seem, are slowly but surely making an impact. Momentum is created by persistence, and momentum makes the journey easier. Another powerful element of persistence is its ability to unlock creativity. When faced with challenges, the easy route is to give up, to abandon the pursuit, and to walk away. However, when you choose persistence, you activate your creative potential. When the standard path is blocked, persistence pushes you to look for alternative routes, to think outside the box, and to innovate. It challenges you to find solutions where none seem to exist and to stay open to new ideas. Every time you encounter an obstacle and refuse to give up, you are honing your problem-solving skills and expanding your ability to navigate the unexpected. Persistence unlocks your creativity because it forces you to stretch beyond your comfort zone and tap into the deeper resources within you. At its core, persistence is also a reflection of your belief in your vision. When you are persistent, you are demonstrating that you believe in the outcome so deeply that you are willing to face any difficulty to achieve it. It is the strength of this belief that fuels your persistence. If your goals were not truly important to you, you would not keep pushing forward in the face of adversity. But when you are deeply connected to your vision, when it resonates with your soul, persistence becomes the natural response. You keep going because you are driven by a sense of purpose, knowing that what you are working toward will bring meaning and fulfillment to your life. Persistence also teaches you to take responsibility for your own success. In the face of challenges, it is easy to fall into a victim mindset, to blame external circumstances or other people for your lack of progress. However, Persistence calls you to take full ownership of your journey. It reminds you that you have the power to choose how you respond to obstacles and setbacks. Your success is in your hands, and it is up to you to continue moving forward, regardless of the difficulties you may face. With persistence, you empower yourself to control your destiny and to remain focused on your goals, no matter the challenges that arise. Persistence opens the door to everything you desire. It is the key that unlocks the possibilities that are hidden behind the walls of fear, doubt, and resistance. It is the force that propels you toward the life you have always dreamed of, the life that you deserve. By embracing persistence, you give yourself the gift of never giving up, of always moving forward, and of knowing that no matter how many obstacles you face, you will ultimately find your way to the other side. Through persistence, the door to your success is always open, waiting for you to walk through it. Calling on God is not just a plea for help or a desperate cry in times of need. It is, at its core, a recognition of your divine inheritance, a powerful affirmation of the rights that are inherently yours as a child of the Creator. It is an acknowledgement that you are not separate from the divine, but a direct expression of it. When you call on God, you are not only seeking assistance or guidance, you are claiming the very truth of your existence, the truth that you are always supported, always loved, and always connected to the infinite power that sustains all life. At the heart of this calling is the understanding that God is within you, always present, always accessible. Many people perceive God as an external force, something distant and separate from them. But the truth is, God dwells within you. The divine spark that created the universe is the same spark that animates your body, that drives your thoughts, that fuels your desires. When you call on God, you are essentially calling on the deepest part of yourself, the part that knows no limitation, no fear, and no doubt. You are awakening the divine potential within, and in doing so, you are claiming the right to live a life of abundance, peace, and purpose. When you truly grasp the concept of your divine right, calling on God becomes an act of empowerment. It is no longer about pleading for something you feel you lack. Instead, it is about stepping into the fullness of who you are and recognizing the abundance that is already yours. This is the essence of faith, believing that what you need is already provided, that the desires of your heart are already on their way, and that you have the right to receive them. Calling on God is a declaration that you are ready to receive your good, that you are willing to align yourself with the divine flow of life, and that you trust in the process of manifestation. The act of calling on God is also an invitation to experience divine guidance and wisdom. In the quiet moments when you seek God's presence, you are opening yourself up to receive the answers that you need. Too often, we are caught up in the noise of the world, trying to figure everything out on our own, relying on our intellect and our limited understanding. But when you call on God, you surrender the need to control everything and allow the divine wisdom to guide you. You claim the right to live with clarity, to make decisions with confidence, and to trust that the answers you seek are already available to you. This guidance is not always immediate or in the form you expect, but it is always present, waiting for you to listen with an open heart and mind. Calling on God is a process of aligning yourself with your higher purpose. Each of us is born with a unique set of gifts, talents, and a specific mission in this life. Yet many people go through life without fully understanding their purpose or how to align their actions with it. By calling on God, you are reaffirming your connection to the divine plan for your life. You are claiming the right to live in harmony with your soul's purpose, to move forward in the direction that brings fulfillment and joy. It is through this alignment that you find true satisfaction, not in external accomplishments or possessions, but in the deep knowing that you are living authentically and in harmony with your true self. One of the most profound aspects of calling on God is the recognition that you are never alone. Life can sometimes feel isolating, as if you are carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. But in those moments, calling on God serves as a reminder that you are never disconnected from the divine source. You are part of a larger, interconnected whole, and the support of the divine is always available to you. You can call on God in times of joy or sorrow, in moments of confusion or clarity, and know that you are met with love, grace, and unwavering presence. This realization brings comfort and peace, knowing that you are always supported in every moment. The process of calling on God is also deeply transformative. It is through this act of surrender and invocation that you begin to change from the inside out. As you call on the divine, you align yourself with the highest version of yourself, and you allow that version to express through you. This alignment with the divine creates a shift in your energy, your mindset, and your behavior. You begin to see the world differently, approaching each situation with more compassion, more patience, and more understanding. Your relationships improve, your mindset shifts toward abundance, and your life becomes a reflection of the divine qualities that are now flowing through you. Calling on God is an expression of faith, trust, and the recognition of your divine inheritance. It is an acknowledgement that you are never separate from the Creator, but an integral part of the divine tapestry that is constantly unfolding. When you call on God, you are claiming your right to abundance, guidance, love, and support. You are stepping into the fullness of your power and purpose, and you are inviting the divine to work through you in every aspect of your life. By calling on God, you are affirming that you are worthy, that you are supported, and that you are ready to receive all the blessings the universe has to offer. In conclusion, calling on God is not just a request for assistance, it is a powerful affirmation of your divine right to live a life of abundance, peace, and purpose. It is the recognition that you are a direct expression of the divine, connected to an infinite source of wisdom, love, and guidance. When you call on God, you are claiming the fullness of your being and aligning yourself with your higher purpose. You are trusting in the divine flow of life, surrendering the need to control, and allowing grace to guide you. Through this connection, you find the strength to overcome obstacles, the clarity to make decisions, and the courage to step into the life you were always meant to live. Remember, calling on God is an act of empowerment. It is the realization that you are never alone, that you are always supported, and that you are worthy of every blessing that comes your way. Trust in this divine connection and watch as your life unfolds with miracles, synchronicities, and opportunities that lead you to your highest good. Thank you for taking the time to listen and reflect on these words. May you always remember that you are divinely supported, and that when you call on God, you are claiming the full expression of your highest self. Do you know the truth of who you are? You are not here by chance, nor are you subject to the whims of fate. Your life is a divine orchestration, and the plans for you were written long before you ever drew breath. The Creator has set a blueprint for your life, a purpose that is immovable, unshakable, and destined to prevail. Your life is not a series of random events, nor are you adrift in a sea of chance. It is, instead, the result of a divine design, a blueprint laid out by the Creator with meticulous care and purpose. This blueprint is not just an outline of your life, but an intricate plan woven with intention, love, and infinite wisdom. Every aspect of your existence, from the challenges you face to the desires of your heart, is part of this grand design. Consider for a moment the idea that before you took your first breath, your life was already mapped out. The dreams you hold, the talents you possess, and even the struggles you endure are not incidental. They are threads in the fabric of your destiny, placed there to guide you toward the fulfillment of a purpose far greater than you may currently understand. There is a reason you feel drawn to certain paths, why particular ideas ignite your passion, and why some challenges seem tailor-made for you. These are not coincidences, they are markers on the map of your divine journey. Many of us struggle with the idea of destiny, believing it to be something imposed upon us without our consent. Yet the truth is far more empowering. Your divine blueprint was not created to limit you, but to liberate you. It was designed to align with the deepest desires of your heart. Life's challenges often desires make us question whether the divine blueprint is that nudging you toward your highest setbacks. No external force, the longings you feel are not merely and no mistakes can we are moving further away from the life voice of God's plan is perfect. Reminding you takes into account part of the divine plan. Every misstep, challenges are not evidence of failure; they are opportunities. Even when you feel lost, you are still on the path, preparing us for the blessings that lie ahead, compensating for the choices you make. As the shaping of a diamond, from its ultimate time are necessary. You are always being a raw stone, whether you realize it or not. Of extraordinary value. Faith is the key to understanding and trusting this blueprint. Faith allows you to see beyond the surface of your experiences and recognize the hand of the divine at work. It reminds you that what appears to be chaos is often the precursor to clarity, and what seems like a delay is often divine timing in action. When you trust the plan, you align yourself with its flow, and life begins to unfold with a sense of ease and purpose that is unmistakable. This does not mean that you are a passive participant in your destiny. Far from it. Your role is vital, for the blueprint is not a rigid script, but a living design that requires your active engagement. Your thoughts, beliefs, and actions shape how the plan manifests in your life. When you align your inner world with the vision set out in the divine design, you unlock the power to bring it into reality. This is the partnership between you and the Creator. He provides the plan, and you provide the faith and effort to bring it to life. The world around you may try to convince you otherwise. It may suggest that your life is governed by luck, chance, or the will of others. But this is an illusion. The truth is that the Creator has already set your course, and nothing can alter it. The only thing that can delay your progress is your own resistance, your doubt, fear, or refusal to trust in the plan. Yet even these moments of hesitation are accounted for, and the plan remains intact, waiting for you to step back into alignment. Your life is a masterpiece in progress, and every moment contributes to its completion. Even when you cannot see the full picture, trust that the Creator is working on your behalf, crafting something beautiful and meaningful. The divine blueprint is not just a map of your life, it is a testament to the love and care with which you were created. Every detail, every twist and turn is a reminder that you are known, cherished, and guided. So, rest in the assurance that your life is not an accident. You are here for a reason, and every step you take is part of a journey that has been lovingly designed for you. Trust in the plan, embrace your role in its unfolding, and know that you are walking a path that leads to a destiny greater than you can imagine. There is a force in this universe that is greater than any human effort, stronger than any opposition, and unshaken by the circumstances of this world. This force is the will of the Creator, the divine intention that governs all things and shapes the destiny of each soul. It is immovable, unchanging, and resolute. No matter how the winds of life may blow, or how chaotic the world may seem, this divine will remain steadfast, guiding everything toward its ordained purpose. The immovable will of God is not a concept limited to grand, cosmic events. It is deeply personal and intimately connected to your life. Every detail of your existence is a part of this greater will. The challenges you face, the victories you celebrate, and even the detours you encounter are woven into the fabric of this divine plan. Nothing happens by chance, and nothing escapes the reach of God's purpose. What has been set in motion for you cannot be stopped, for the will of the Creator is absolute. When we speak of God's will being immovable, it is essential to understand that this does not mean it is inflexible or cold. On the contrary, it is rooted in infinite love and wisdom. It is immovable in the sense that it cannot be overpowered or thwarted. The Creator's plans for you are designed with precision, taking into account every choice you make, every obstacle you face, and every situation you encounter. Even when you feel as though you are drifting far from the life you were meant to live, the will of God gently but firmly redirects you back on course. Human resistance cannot alter divine intention. People may oppose you, circumstances may seem unfavorable, and even your own doubts may arise, yet none of these things can undo what has been set in motion by the Creator. What God has planned for you will come to pass, no matter how impossible it may seem. The will of God is not bound by human limitations. It transcends the laws of nature, the barriers of time, and the confines of physical reality. It is a force that moves mountains, parts seas, and transforms the seemingly impossible into reality. The immovable will of God often requires us to trust in ways that challenge our understanding. There will be times when life feels uncertain, or when it appears that nothing is going according to plan. In these moments, it is easy to question whether the Creator's will is still at work. Yet it is precisely in these moments that His will is often working most powerfully, behind the scenes, arranging the pieces of your life in ways you cannot yet perceive. What looks like a delay or a detour is often a necessary part of the journey, preparing you for the fulfillment of God's promises. This divine will is also a source of profound comfort. Knowing that God's plans for you are immovable allows you to let go of fear and anxiety. You do not have to worry about the outcome of your efforts or the actions of others, for the Creator has already secured your destiny. Even when things do not unfold as you expect, you can rest in the assurance that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. The will of God is perfect, and it will not fail. The immovable will of God is also a reminder that no force of darkness can prevail against you. There may be opposition, but it cannot succeed in the face of divine intention. What God has spoken over your life cannot be undone. His promises are eternal, and His word does not return void. This is why you can stand firm, even in the face of adversity. You are backed by a power that is greater than anything in this world. The immovable will of God is a testament to His unwavering commitment to you. It is a reflection of His love, His wisdom, and His desire to see you fulfill the purpose for which you were created. When you trust in this will, you align yourself with a power that is unstoppable. You become unshakable, not because of your strength, but because you are anchored in the strength of the one who holds the universe in His hands. So, no matter what you face, remember this: God's will for your life is unchanging and immovable. Trust in it, align with it, and walk forward in faith, knowing that nothing and no one can stop what has already been ordained for you. I am the grand design of life. The Creator has not only set a divine plan in motion, but has also given you a significant role in its unfolding. You are not a passive observer of your destiny, but an active participant in the manifestation of what has been ordained for you. While the Creator's plan is perfect and immovable, it requires your conscious cooperation to bring it into tangible reality. This partnership is both a privilege and a responsibility, and understanding your role is essential for aligning with the fullness of what is meant for you. The Creator has placed within you a unique combination of desires, abilities, and visions. These are not random, they are sacred keys to unlocking your purpose. When you feel drawn to something, when a dream ignites your soul, it is not merely a product of your imagination. It is a divine whisper, a calling, and an invitation to participate in the manifestation of what has been designed specifically for you. Your desires are the Creator's way of guiding you toward the fulfillment of your destiny. But desire alone is not enough. Your role involves faith, a deep and unwavering belief in the reality of what you seek, even before it appears in the physical world. Faith is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, the intangible and the tangible. When you believe in the fulfillment of your desires with absolute certainty, you align your inner world with the divine blueprint. This alignment is the key to unlocking the flow of divine power in your life. Faith, however, must be accompanied by action. Action is not about striving or forcing things to happen. It is about taking inspired steps that align with your vision. These steps may be small or large, but they must be taken with confidence and trust. When you act as though your desires are already on their way, you create a space for them to manifest. This is not an act of pretending, but of knowing that the Creator has already set the wheels in motion, and that your role is to meet the unfolding process with readiness and anticipation. Another crucial aspect of your role is the cultivation of your inner world. Your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions are powerful tools in the manifestation process. The Creator works through you, and what you hold in your mind and heart determines the shape of your reality. When you focus on abundance, gratitude, and faith, you align with the frequency of the divine plan. But when you dwell in doubt, fear, or lack, you create resistance to what is meant for you. This resistance does not cancel the Creator's plan, but can delay its manifestation, as the divine waits patiently for your alignment. Patience is also an integral part of your role. Manifestation does not always happen on your timeline, and what may seem like a delay is often the Creator's way of preparing you for something greater. Trust in the timing of your life. Trust that every moment, even the ones that feel stagnant or challenging, is part of the process. The Creator is never late, and what is meant for you will not pass you by. Your job is to remain faithful and continue nurturing the vision, even when you cannot yet see its physical evidence. Your role also involves letting go of control. While action and faith are necessary, clinging to the outcome or trying to force things to happen can create tension and block the natural flow of the divine process. Letting go is not about giving up, it is about surrendering to a power greater than yourself, trusting that the Creator knows the best way to bring your desires to fruition. When you release the need to control every detail, you make room for miracles. Equally important is the practice of gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking to what is already present, creating a vibration of abundance that attracts even more blessings. When you are grateful for what you have, you signal to the Creator that you are ready to receive more. Gratitude also strengthens your faith, reminding you of the countless ways in which the divine has already worked in your life. Your role in manifestation requires persistence. There will be moments of doubt, setbacks, and challenges, but these are not signs that you are on the wrong path. They are opportunities to reaffirm your faith and strengthen your resolve. Keep moving forward even when the road is unclear. Trust that every step, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to the fulfillment of the divine plan. In this grand partnership with the Creator, your role is not to make the plan but to align with it. Trust in the desires placed within you, cultivate unwavering faith, take inspired action, and surrender to the divine process. When you do this, you become a vessel through which the Creator's will flows effortlessly into the world. The manifestation of your destiny is not just a possibility, it is a certainty as long as you play your role with faith, trust, and gratitude. The challenges you face in life may seem insurmountable at times, appearing as barriers designed to thwart your progress. Yet, when you look beyond their surface, you come to realize they are not as solid or permanent as they appear. Challenges are illusions, shadows cast by your perception, shaped by your beliefs, and fueled by your fears. They exist not to block your path, but to guide you inward, to reveal the untapped power within, and to teach you that what you perceive as obstacles are, in truth, stepping stones toward your highest potential. This understanding does not diminish the difficulty of challenges, rather, it empowers you to see them for what they are: opportunities for growth, not punishments or evidence of failure. When you encounter a challenge, it is an invitation to shift your perspective, to rise above the illusion of limitation, and to reclaim your power. The Creator has placed within you everything you need to overcome any obstacle, and challenges are merely tools to awaken that inner strength. The illusion of challenges often gains its power through fear. Fear magnifies problems, making them seem larger and more threatening than they are. It clouds your judgment and convinces you that escape or defeat is your only option. But fear is also an illusion, a shadow that dissipates the moment you face it with courage and clarity. The moment you choose to see a challenge not as an enemy but as a teacher, its power over you diminishes. You realize that the true battle is not with the challenge itself, but with the belief that it has the power to stop you. Consider the nature of illusions. They appear real until you look closely, question their substance, and see through them. Similarly, challenges often dissolve when met with unwavering faith and determination. So, the Creator's plan for you is not hindered by these temporary illusions. In fact, challenges are part of the divine design, strategically placed to help you develop the qualities necessary for the fulfillment of your purpose. They are not barriers but bridges, guiding you to a deeper understanding of yourself and your connection to the divine. When you confront a challenge, it is essential to remember that it is not separate from the larger plan for your life. It is not a mistake or a deviation from your path, it is the path. Every challenge carries within it a gift, a lesson, a strength, a revelation that is meant to prepare you for what lies ahead. The illusion is not in the existence of the challenge, but in the belief that it is there to harm or hinder you. In truth, it is there to elevate you. Challenges also serve to reveal the truth of who you are. They strip away the layers of doubt, fear, and insecurity, leaving you with a clearer understanding of your strength, resilience, and potential. What may initially feel like a loss or a setback is often the process of shedding old limitations to make room for new growth. The illusion of the challenge fades as you step into the realization that you are not a victim of circumstance, but a co-creator of your reality. In navigating challenges, your inner world becomes the most critical battlefield. The thoughts you entertain, the beliefs you hold, and the emotions you nurture all play a role in shaping your experience. When you choose to see challenges as illusions, you reclaim your power to reshape them. You are no longer bound by their apparent weight or size. Instead, you rise above them, using the tools of faith, imagination, and persistence to dissolve their hold over you. Challenges are not here to defeat you, they are here to awaken you. They remind you of your divine nature, your boundless potential, and the infinite wisdom of the Creator's plan. When you see them for what they truly are, temporary illusions meant to guide and grow you, you approach them with confidence, curiosity, and grace. You no longer resist them or fear them, but embrace them as opportunities to evolve into the person you were always meant to be. Within you lies a seed, already planted, already infused with divine intention, carrying the full potential of what you are meant to become. This seed is the essence of your desires, your dreams, and your purpose. It was placed within you by the Creator before you even became aware of it, and it contains everything necessary for its growth and fulfillment. Yet, like any seed, its unfolding depends on your belief, your attention, and your willingness to nurture it. The seed does not require your effort to create it. It is already there. It does not need you to force its growth, for growth is its inherent nature. What it needs is the right environment, the conditions that allow it to flourish. This is your role, to create the mental and emotional atmosphere in which the seed can thrive. Faith is the sunlight that nourishes it, your imagination is the fertile soil that surrounds it, and your actions are the water that sustains its progress. Without these elements, the seed may remain dormant, not because it lacks potential, but because it awaits your participation. The beauty of this seed is that it carries within it the full blueprint of your destiny. Just as an oak tree is already contained within the acorn, your greatest achievements and highest purpose are already present within you. There is nothing you need to add to it, no external force that can make it more complete. It is perfect in its design, and its growth is assured when you align yourself with the natural process of manifestation. Doubt is the greatest threat to the seed's growth. When you allow fear or uncertainty to dominate your thoughts, you withhold the sunlight and nourishment it needs. Doubt tells you that the seed may not exist, that your desires are too big, too impossible, or too far away. But the truth is that the seed was planted with divine certainty. Its existence is not in question. The only question is whether you will choose to believe in its presence and act accordingly. Faith is not blind, it is a profound knowing that the seed will grow, even when you cannot yet see its form. When you plant a seed in the ground, you do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust the process, knowing that beneath the surface, life is stirring, roots are spreading, and the first shoots will appear in their perfect time. In the same way, you must trust the seed within you. Its growth may not always be visible, but it is constant and inevitable. Your imagination plays a crucial role in this process. It is the soil in which the seed is planted, and its richness determines the quality of the growth. When you imagine your desires as already fulfilled, you create an environment where the seed can flourish. Every thought of abundance, joy, and success adds nutrients to the soil, while thoughts of lack and limitation deplete it. Guard your imagination carefully, for it is the medium through which the seed receives its nourishment. Action is another vital component. While the seed grows in its own time, your inspired actions provide the water that sustains it. These actions need not be grand or perfect, they only need to be aligned with your belief in the seed's existence. Each step you take, no matter how small, signals your faith in the process and your readiness to receive the fruit of your efforts. Even in moments of doubt, taking action reaffirms your commitment and keeps the energy flowing toward growth. Patience is essential. For the seed does not grow on your timetable but on the Creator's. What may seem like a delay is often a period of preparation, a time when the roots are growing deeper to support the greatness that will emerge. Trust that the process is unfolding exactly as it should, even when you cannot yet see the evidence. The seed's growth is inevitable, as long as you remain faithful and consistent in your nurturing. The seed is also resilient. It does not lose its potential because of temporary neglect or adverse conditions. Even when you falter, when doubt clouds your mind or fear takes hold, the seed remains. It waits patiently for you to return, to resume your role as its caretaker. This is the grace of the Creator's design. No matter how many times you stumble, the seed is still there, ready to grow the moment you align yourself with its purpose. The seed is a reminder of the divine partnership in your life. The Creator plants the seed, but it is through your belief, imagination, and action that it comes to fruition. The seed's existence is a promise, a guarantee that everything you desire, everything you are meant to be, is already within you. You do not need to strive to create it, you only need to trust the process and nurture its growth. When you align yourself with this truth, the seed will grow effortlessly, and its fruit will manifest as the fulfillment of your greatest dreams. Time is one of the most profound tools of the Creator, a silent force that shapes, reveals, and refines. It is not your enemy, though it may sometimes feel like it. Instead, it is the mechanism through which the divine plan unfolds in perfect sequence. Every second, every moment, every delay, and every acceleration serves a purpose that aligns with the grand design for your life. When you understand time as a tool of God, you begin to see it not as something to fight against or escape from, but as an essential part of the journey. Human impatience often causes us to misinterpret time. We want results now, manifestations immediately, and changes without delay. But the Creator does not operate on the calendar of human desires. Time serves as the weaver of events, ensuring that everything comes together in harmony. It is not random or wasted. Every moment is purposeful, preparing the ground for what is to come. Even when you cannot see its work, time is shaping you, building the foundation, and aligning circumstances so that what is meant for you arrives exactly when it should. In the rush to achieve or receive, it is easy to overlook the value of waiting. Yet, waiting is not a passive state, it is an active period of preparation. When a farmer plants a seed, they do not demand that it sprout instantly. They trust in the natural process, understanding that growth requires time. Similarly, the Creator uses time to cultivate your character, strengthen your faith, and align your desires with your readiness to receive them. What feels like a delay is often a period of unseen progress, where the roots of your destiny are taking hold beneath the surface. Time also serves as a mirror, reflecting back to you the state of your inner world. If you approach it with anxiety or impatience, it feels heavy and burdensome. If you embrace it with trust and faith, it becomes a gift, revealing its treasures in every moment. The Creator uses time to teach you patience, to show you that the process is as important as the outcome. In the waiting, you learn to let go of control, to surrender your timeline to the divine timing that is always perfect. Faith is the bridge that allows you to navigate time with grace. When you trust that the Creator's plan is already in motion, you stop resisting the flow of time and start aligning with it. You understand that what you desire is not being withheld, but is being prepared. The journey through time is not a test of endurance, but a process of unfolding. Each moment brings you closer to the realization of your dreams, as long as you remain steadfast in your belief and committed to your role in the manifestation. Time also reveals what is truly important. It strips away distractions, clarifies priorities, and shows you what is worth waiting for. In moments of frustration or doubt, time teaches you to discern between fleeting desires and the deep, lasting fulfillment that only the Creator can provide. It aligns you with the rhythm of life, reminding you that the most meaningful things often require patience and perseverance. Even when time seems to move slowly, it is never stagnant. Like a river, it flows continuously, carrying you toward your destination. The Creator uses time to orchestrate events, align people and circumstances, and prepare you for what lies ahead. What appears to be a delay is often a necessary pause, ensuring that you are ready to step into your purpose when the moment arrives. The key is to trust the process, to know that time is not working against you but for you. The challenges you face along the way are also part of time's purpose. They are not obstacles to your progress but tools of refinement. Time allows you to grow through these challenges, to develop the strength, wisdom, and resilience needed to fulfill your destiny. Without the passage of time, you would not have the space to evolve, to learn, or to become the person you are meant to be. The Creator uses time to shape you, like a sculptor shaping a masterpiece, ensuring that every detail is perfect. There is great peace in surrendering to the truth that time is God's tool. When you release the need to control or rush the process, you open yourself to the flow of divine timing. You begin to see every moment as valuable, every delay as purposeful, and every challenge as an opportunity for growth. You stop striving and start trusting, knowing that the Creator's plan is unfolding exactly as it should. Time is not your adversary, it is your ally. It is the medium through which the Creator brings your dreams into reality. Trust in its purpose, embrace its lessons, and align yourself with its flow. In doing so, you will come to understand that everything you desire is already on its way, and that the journey through time is as much a part of the blessing as the destination itself. Within every individual lies a quiet yet powerful force, inner conviction. This is the deep, unshakable knowing that transcends logic, circumstances, and the opinions of others. It is the compass given to you by the Creator, pointing you toward your true path, guiding your every step, and reassuring you even in the face of doubt and difficulty. Inner conviction is the voice of your higher self, the essence of divine wisdom within you. It whispers truths that the outer world often drowns out with its clamor. To live in alignment with this inner conviction is to trust in the unseen, to choose faith over fear, and to prioritize your authentic desires over the fleeting opinions of the world. The outer world is noisy, filled with voices that attempt to tell you who you are, what you should want, and how you should live. These voices come in many forms: social expectations, cultural norms, the judgments of others, and even your own conditioned fears. If you allow these external influences to guide your decisions, you risk losing sight of your true self and the unique path that has been laid out for you. Outer noise is often rooted in limitation, fear, and the belief in scarcity. It distracts you from your innate power and the divine connection that assures you of your ability to create and manifest. Inner conviction, however, is not swayed by these external influences. It remains steady and unchanging, grounded in the truth of who you are and the vision of what you are meant to become. When you tune into this conviction, you realize that the answers you seek are already within you. The Creator has placed within you all the guidance you need, encoded into your desires and your intuitive sense of what is right for you. This inner knowing is your compass, and it always points you toward your highest good. Listening to your inner conviction requires courage. It asks you to turn away from the crowd, to ignore the voices of doubt, and to trust in something that cannot always be seen or explained. The outer world may try to convince you that your dreams are too big, your path too unconventional, or your vision too unrealistic. But inner conviction knows better. It knows that the Creator does not place desires in your heart without also providing the means to fulfill them. When you trust in your inner conviction, you align yourself with this divine promise. Outer noise thrives on comparison. It urges you to measure your worth against others, to chase after what society deems valuable, and to conform to expectations that may not align with your true self. But inner conviction reminds you that your journey is uniquely yours. You are not here to replicate someone else's path or to meet external standards. You are here to live authentically, to honor your individual calling, and to express the fullness of who you are. The more you tune into your inner conviction, the less power outer noise has over you. Inner conviction also brings clarity. When you are grounded in this inner knowing, you can navigate life's challenges with confidence and peace. You are no longer swayed by temporary setbacks or the shifting opinions of others. You recognize that these are merely distractions, not determinants of your destiny. Your inner conviction allows you to see beyond the surface, to trust in the bigger picture, and to stay focused on what truly matters. It is the anchor that keeps you steady in the storm. The process of strengthening your inner conviction begins with stillness. In the quiet, away from the noise of the world, you can hear the voice of your higher self. Through practices like meditation, prayer, or reflective journaling, you reconnect with this inner source of wisdom. As you cultivate this connection, you become more attuned to your intuition and more confident in your ability to discern your path. You learn to trust your inner voice over the external noise, and this trust becomes the foundation of your strength. Action is also a key component of living by inner conviction. It is not enough to hear the call of your inner voice, you must also act on it. Each time you make a decision that aligns with your inner conviction, you strengthen your connection to it. You prove to yourself that you are capable of trusting in your own wisdom, and this trust grows over time. Even small steps taken in alignment with your inner conviction have the power to transform your life and move you closer to your dreams. Inner conviction is a reflection of your relationship with the Creator. It is the channel through which divine guidance flows, the means by which you align yourself with your highest good. When you prioritize your inner conviction over outer noise, you honor this sacred connection. You affirm your faith in the Creator's plan for your life, and you step into the fullness of your power as a co-creator of your reality. Living by inner conviction is not always easy, but it is always worth it. It requires faith, courage, and a willingness to trust in the unseen. Yet when you do, you discover a sense of peace and purpose that outer noise can never provide. You realize that you are not defined by the opinions of others or the limitations of the world, but by the divine potential within you. And in this realization, you find the freedom to be truly, unapologetically yourself. Victory is assured. This is not a statement of mere hope or optimism. It is truth rooted in the divine order of the universe. The Creator does not work in uncertainty, and neither should you. When a purpose is planted within your heart, the outcome is already determined. The path to fulfillment may twist and turn, and challenges may arise, but the end is inevitable triumph. The seeds of your success were sown the moment the vision took root in your mind, for the Creator does not plant ideas without the means to bring them to fruition. To grasp this truth, you must first understand that victory is not something you earn through relentless striving. It is something you align with through faith and action. The outcome exists before you begin. Imagine a sculptor who sees the masterpiece within the block of stone before they lift a chisel. The work of removing the excess is necessary, but the vision is already complete in the sculptor's mind. Similarly, your success is already established in the mind of the Creator. Your role is not to create the victory, but to reveal it through trust, perseverance, and alignment with the divine will. Many struggle to accept that their victory is assured because they measure progress by external signs. They look to the world for validation, expecting immediate results to confirm their efforts. But true victory begins within. It starts with an unshakable belief in the inevitability of your success, regardless of what your current circumstances may suggest. This is the essence of faith: to see the unseen, to claim the outcome before it materializes, and to act as though the victory is already yours. Faith transforms challenges into stepping stones, not barriers, and keeps you moving forward even when the path is unclear. The road to assured victory often involves trials that test your commitment and resilience. These trials are not signs of failure but essential parts of the journey. They serve to refine you, to strengthen your character, and to prepare you for the responsibilities that come with success. The Creator uses challenges to shape you into the person you need to become, to fully embrace the victory that awaits you. Each setback is a lesson, each delay a moment of preparation. When you view obstacles through this lens, they lose their power to discourage you. Instead, they become evidence that the process is working, that you are being equipped for the greatness that lies ahead. Doubt is the greatest enemy of assured victory. It creeps in when results are delayed, when challenges arise, or when the voices of others question your path. But doubt is nothing more than a shadow, a temporary illusion that cannot withstand the light of your faith. To overcome doubt, you must remain anchored in the truth of your assured victory. Speak it aloud, affirm it daily, and remind yourself of the vision that was placed within you. The Creator does not abandon what He begins. If the desire exists within you, so too does the power to achieve it. Victory is also a state of being, not just an end result. When you live with the knowledge that your success is inevitable, you begin to carry yourself differently. Your actions are bold, your words confident, and your energy magnetic. You stop chasing success and start attracting it. This shift in perspective allows you to enjoy the journey, knowing that the destination is certain. You find joy in the process, peace in the waiting, and strength in the face of challenges. You are no longer swayed by temporary setbacks or external opinions because your inner conviction is rooted in a higher truth. It is important to remember that assured victory does not mean the absence of effort. Faith without action is incomplete. Your role is to align your thoughts, words, and deeds with the victory you seek. This alignment creates a powerful synergy with the divine forces at work, accelerating the manifestation of your success. When you act as though the victory is already yours, you open the doors for it to manifest in ways you cannot predict or control. The Creator works through your efforts, using them to bring the unseen into reality. Assured victory also requires gratitude. Gratitude is a declaration of trust in the process, a recognition that the outcome is already unfolding in your favor. When you give thanks for the victory before it arrives, you affirm your belief in its inevitability. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking to what is possible, and this shift creates an environment where success can flourish. The Creator responds to gratitude by multiplying blessings, turning even the smallest victories into stepping stones for greater achievements. Your victory is assured because it is not dependent on the changing tides of the world, but on the unchanging nature of the Creator. What has been decreed cannot be undone, and what has been promised will come to pass. Your role is to trust, to act, and to align yourself with this divine truth. When you do, you will find that victory is not something you must chase, it is something you simply step into. It is waiting for you, as certain as the sunrise, ready to be claimed. All you need to do is believe. In the grand design of life, every vision, every desire, and every purpose placed within your heart is a promise from the Creator. It is not a mere possibility, but a certainty waiting for you to align with it through faith, action, and unwavering trust. Challenges are but illusions, time is a tool, and the journey is as divine as the destination. Your role is not to strive in doubt, but to rest in the assurance that the victory is already yours, carved into the fabric of the universe. The truth of your inner conviction, the quiet voice of faith within you, is your compass. Let it guide you, let it embolden you, and let it remind you that no noise of the outer world can disrupt what the Creator has ordained. Trust in the divine timing, in the perfection of the process, and in the certainty of your triumph. As you walk this path, remember that every step is taking you closer to the fulfillment of your purpose. Thank you for embracing these truths and for taking the time to connect with the divine wisdom within you. May your journey be filled with clarity, strength, and the unwavering certainty of your assured victory.